Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the race watch along for the 2025 British Grand Prix. Sorry about that little delay there. I forgot to turn the lights on again. So I thought I'd better do that first before we get going. Hope we're all doing well this Sunday. It's looking like it could be interesting. Spider-Man's there, so that's all that matters, I guess. But yeah, very much looking forward to what could be quite a fun race today. It's pretty much rained on and off all day at Silverstone. If you watch the F2 and the F3, you'll know that. We've had a few dry spells, and there was a dry spell, but it has been chucking it down in the last few minutes. So it looks like it's going to be at least a damp start. But if you're interested, it's absolutely throwing it down outside as well here. So that might get a bit loud at some point. So there we go. Yeah, hope we're doing well. We'll do some shout outs in just a second. So answer two comments that came through today, actually, very, very quickly on yesterday's stream. One important and one that I have to poke fun at because, you know, the internet. So at your karma for sure said, I saw you were annoyed as well. Max on pole, simply lovely. So, you know, saying now I'm annoyed that Max Verstappen's on pole position. It doesn't take any effort to look over my shoulder to see who I support. So use your eyes and grow up. Second point is from Matt. Matchstick S4, who said, is there anyone else watching this after the fact and getting the quite jarringly loud Lululemon advert every 8 minutes? First point on that, it was the Lululemon thing. I immediately thought, that's all we've talked about for the last 2 weeks. Second point was that I went and checked the VOD. And I'm not exaggerating. I wanted to bring this up for this reason. I'm not exaggerating. When I put the VOD out, I always put mid-rolls in sort of every 15 to 20 minutes, like on TV. So there's some adverts in there just so it makes a bit of money. I checked the YouTube automated ads. They put 54 mid-rolls in the stream. I sat and counted them. I couldn't believe it. 54. So we'll sort that out afterwards and make sure they don't do that in future and just use manual ones because that is ridiculous. So apologies to anyone who watched the VOD yesterday and had all those after the fact. That was not me. That's YouTube being bloody ridiculous. It is a Red Bull shirt, surprisingly. Yeah, it's actually one of my favourite T-shirts. I don't usually wear it on stream because it's one that I lounge around in because it's one of those oversized ones, so it hangs off me like a dress and it's really comfy, but it's miserable outside. So I thought, do you know what, let's pretend it's the autumn, just a bit too warm, and I'll slob around in my big Max Verstappen Red Bull t-shirt. It's got a big lion on the back of it as well, so you know, big orange lion. Hey to Jack, to Kevin, hey to Craig as well. I'm not going to answer that one, Craig. Hey to Michael, to Valentine, hey to Craig again, why not, he's in chat loads. Hey Sticklebrick, hey to Surprises No, to Fud, to Pascal, to Louis, to Ewan, to Dane, to Sighted Canvas. I hope you're all having a cracking afternoon. Hey to Anushka, to Ash as well. I'll say hey to Craig for a third time because he's down there. Why not? Craig's the guy of the day. There you go. Hope you're having a good one. Surprises No as well. I think I've given you a shout out, but I'll shout you out again. So hope you're having a good one. Ready for this one? I think you should be ready for this one. Let's go through all my usual pre-stream spiel before we get on to questions. We are about 21 minutes away from the start of the race. Hopefully dry enough to not need a safety car. It looks pretty wet, but I'd imagine that's going to dry out quite quickly. I don't think it's raining anymore, so skies appear to be clearing. But anyway, Max Verstappen surprised everybody yesterday by taking pole position, 124.892. Oscar Piastri in P2 with Lando Norris in third, as Marty Brundle talks to Jeremy Clarkson. George Russell in fourth place with Lewis Hamilton fifth. Of course, the mistakes on the final lap from Piastri, Norris, Hamilton, and I believe Leclerc as well, who starts sixth. I thought I caught him that. I did see his team radio before you ask. It was pretty sad to hear that, actually. Fernando Alonso in 7th, Pierre Gasly 8th, Carlos Sainz 9th, Kimi Antonelli 10th, obviously a 3-place grid drop for him. It's 11th for Yuki Tsunoda, 12th for Isack Hadjar, 13th for Alex Albon, 14th for Esteban Ocon, 15th for Liam Lawson, 16th for Gabriel Bortoletto, 17th for Lance Stroll, 18th for Ollie Bearman, who of course took that 10-place grid drop after really good qualifying yesterday to be in the top 10. Nico Hulkenberg 19th, and Franco Colapinto, who crashed out yesterday, spun out yesterday, will start from the pit lane having taken a load of new power unit components. I think his ICE, for example, was his fifth one, so he needed to take those. Caleb as well is there. There you go, Caleb Cooper. If you've not seen Clarkson's Farm, whether you like Jeremy Clarkson or not, I don't care. It's great TV. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. Yeah, I keep. It's the British Grand Prix, so I can see celebrities I recognise as opposed to some random person I have no idea who they are. Strategy-wise, do you want to do this? Yeah, go on then. Let's go do it. It's a bit irrelevant at the moment because it looks like we'll start on Inters unless it dries up a lot in the next 20 minutes. But Pirelli saying One stop is probably the preferred route, with a stint to lap 19 to 25 on the mediums before putting the hards onto the end of the race. You could do 12 to 18 on the mediums, then pit twice for hards and do a 2-stop. You could also do 14 to 20 on the mediums and then do hard and soft as your final 2 stints. The Queen, Hannah Waddingham, is there as well, by the way. 27 to 33 on the hards is the opposite one-stopper onto the mediums. But yeah, it is raining, so I'm not really sure there's an awful lot of points focusing too much on the dry strategy. But if you are interested, 2 sets of new hards for all of the front runners there, as you can see. New mediums as well for pretty much, in fact, definitely for everybody. And some, of course, who didn't get very far in qualifying have got some extra soft tyres. So, yeah, yeah. It is. Caleb is a celeb. He is a celeb. He's everywhere. He's got I think he's got a stand-up show, hasn't he? You can't see the face I just pulled, so you're not going to get to see it now, but he has got a stand-up show, so there you go. But those are your strategies. Hey to anybody else who I haven't shouted out, by the way, who might have popped up when I was doing shout-outs, so sorry if I missed you, but I'm not ignoring you. I moved on to strategy and things like that. So yeah, lots of action hopefully today is what we're desperate for. But yeah, is Hannah Waddingham doing the national anthem again this year? That'd be quite cool if she could. She was pretty brilliant last year. Thank you to Lyle, who's been a member for 10 months. Thank you very much for your support, mate. Says, is Perez still the favourite for Cadillac? Will Alpine ever not be a laughingstock? Imagine if Jeremy Clarkson won the election and became FIA president. Good Lord. That's a terrifying prospect. A lot of people you talk to might argue they want Jeremy Clarkson for prime minister, but I think that'd be terrible. It'd be a nightmare in the best possible way, I think. But yeah, no, it's I think Perez will end up at Cadillac. I think he'll probably be there with Bottas, to be honest. Alpine will eventually not be a laughing stock. They'll start winning again one day, and then we'll take them seriously, but probably not under the Alpine name. So there you go, Lyle. Have a good one, mate. Hope you have a good Sunday. Thank you for your support, as always. Did you talk about the weather, says Craig? The weather... I'll get the app out just for you, Craig. It's your day today. You can have what you like. Let's have a look. Silverstone weather. Yeah, because obviously internet's terrible now. So... rain, 55% chance for the next hour and a half-ish, and then it should dry up after that. It's basically sunny spells with showers, and then it's dry for the rest of the day, and doesn't get ahead about 20 degrees or above 20 degrees. So, cool. Too hot for me still. Cool. Throughout the showers pretty much all race, but only sprinklings, I'd imagine. So, there we go. There you go. Any questions then? Let's do some Q. There's not really much to update you on news-wise since yesterday. There doesn't tend to be, does there, between sessions, apart from the fact that, of course, he is starting from the back, Franco Colapinto. Thomas is sharing pictures in the group chat, and he's got a picture with Caleb, funny enough. So that, sorry, just thought I'd share that with you. Why not? So yeah, that's quite funny. He's on the grid down there somewhere, so probably causing chaos, I'd imagine. Thank you, Valentine, for your super chat. I appreciate that, mate. There's no comment with it, so I'll keep an eye out for you in chat if there's anything you want me to read. But yeah, thank you so much, mate, for your support there. Don't forget to drop likes as well. Let's get this over 100 if we can, as quickly as possible, so we can forget about it for the race. That'd be amazing. And also, subscribe if you're new. Lots to come this season. Thomas will be with you tomorrow with a wrap-up from the paddock, probably with some pictures to Caleb, because he's probably best friends now. I won't be standing for the national anthem, no. I won't be quiet for it either, because, you know, it's a song at the end of the day. And anyway, it won't be the right national anthem. We all know the British national anthem is Mr. Brightside. So there you go. The secret one. What do you make of the rumours that Bottas could drive for Alpine this season, says Pascal? Look, I think the feeling is Colapinto, as of today, the plan is to keep him in that seat for the rest of the season. However, if he continues making the mistakes he makes and doesn't get up to speed or show us what he showed last season at times at Williams, then they may want to make a change. You've got Bottas as a free agent. You've got Perez as a free agent. If you need some experience in that car to get yourself off the foot of the table and maybe even help towards next year's development in some ways, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But I think the plan is to keep Colapinto in there. But as long as you've got a Bottas or a Perez available and one of your drivers is failing, then failing was maybe harsh, but making a lot of mistakes, then yeah. You've got to remember as well that Colapinto brings a lot of money with him. So I said it yesterday, is it worth banking that money if you're Alpine and just taking the hit with him, making the odd mistake and then maybe not delivering the points, but hey, your bank account looks a bit better, ready for these new regs and that? I don't know. weird, but I wouldn't say it's not going to happen. But I think the grid will be as it is till the summer break, I think, now. Although we have got a mini summer break now. There's the red arrows. You may hear them midstream coming back because they fly over my house. They practice over my house as well. So to me, everyone will go, wow, that's awesome. To me, that's like, that's just lunchtime, whatever, mate. I'm quite spoiled like that. I'll sit in the bedroom and I'll just sit and watch them out the window sometimes because I can. There you go. It wears off very, very quickly. I'm joking. Thank you, Sad Mariners fan who's not from Grimsby, for your super chat. Says, what a depressing stat. Since Monza last year, Hulkenberg has more points than the second Red Bull seat. No. You lie. I'm liking that. I don't believe you. No, it probably is true, to be fair. Liam Lawson overtook Yuki Tsunoda last race in the points, didn't he? So that's fantastic. Well, yeah, since Monza last year, Hulkenberg has more points than the second Red Bull seat. Ouch. Is he the answer? No, building a car that everyone could drive is probably the way forward there. But yeah, no, that's an incredible stat. That really, really is. Wow. I have a Lancaster fly over my house once a week. That's cool, Kev. I like that. Yeah. Lancaster bomber. Why not? I don't live that far away from where one of the only, possibly the only operational Lancaster bomber is still, well, operational, I guess is the line I was going for. Flying was what I wanted. But yeah, no, that would be quite cool. George Russell talking to Natalie Pinkham. No, just seen Vin Diesel, so I know who he is, of course. Anyway, your questions. Let's have a look. Oh, come on. It has to be Mr. Brightside. It has to be. None of this God Save the King nonsense. Mr. Brightside's been in the chart for about 300 years or something crazy like that. So, yes, I'll change that now while you've reminded me, actually. Thank you very much, Fabian, for reminding me that we want last lap and not best lap. I'll do that while we remember because I have got it on live timing rather than the other way around, so we can actually go straight to the track shortly, so that's good. I have pigeons fly from my house all the time, says farting golf balls. Well, we're all jealous. Hulkenberg scored a lot of points for Haas last season and 22 so far with Sauber, says Pascal. Yeah, I mean, 22 points with Sauber so far. Yeah, he would do. Yeah, more points than Lawson and Tsunoda. In fact, that's not far off. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's not far off, and I'm going to check. Outscoring both of them already this season. I mean, let's have a look. So, Tsunoda and Lawson have 22 points between them. Hulkenberg has 22 points. So, yeah, God, just this season alone, forget back to Monza, he's matching them. That's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? But I think that says, no offense to Nico Hulkenberg, I think that says more about the second Red Bull seat than it does Hulkenberg. But, yeah, that's embarrassing, isn't it? I don't know. I want to know who's going to crash out in the first lap in the wet. It depends how wet it is, I suppose. 4 million sound equals heaven to the ear, says Craig. You definitely noticed the Lancaster with big Rolls engines. It's been a while. Good to see you. I hope you have been well, says Taliute. Hope you are too, mate. Thank you for popping along. Good to see you. I recognise the name. Don't worry. I'm not padding until I remember you. Thank you for joining the stream. Yeah, we do these at the moment every week. As long as people keep coming to watch in decent numbers, then we'll keep going. But we'll see how we go. Yeah. So I think I'll try my best to keep you updated with what's going on. But it could be chaotic. I'm just looking. The Qatar Airways painted bit on the pit straight looks quite wet. But the track itself looks damp, maybe. It just depends. Once they get up to speed, it might look horrific. But if you caught the F3 earlier, it absolutely hammered it down. Which was mental, really. So ignore the yellow flags. It's just marshals doing bits around the track. So this is the fact they're not even showing for you, so that's irrelevant. You get my point. But yeah, any questions there? Let's go. So we'll do predictions. Actually, let's do predictions now. And then we'll just waffle for 5 minutes or wait for the session to get going or the race to get going. But yeah, get your predictions in the chat. Top 3 if you want, or just the winner. I'll stand by what I said yesterday. I think I remember what I said yesterday. If it rains, Verstappen, Hamilton, Piastri. If it dries up and we have a predominantly dry race, Piastri, Verstappen, Norris, or Norris, Verstappen. Something like that way around, yeah. I can't. If it rains, I can't look past Verstappen. Although they're not sure they've got the race pace in that car, Red Bull. So they might need the rain. I know they've got a lot. They've not got a lot of downforce on it. We saw it yesterday when we were talking through the speed trap data, weren't we? It was comfortably quicker than anything else. So they have very much gone for, let's make this car as difficult to pass as possible on the straight, which is where most, down the Wellington straight and down the Hangar straight is where people are going to come for you. So let's make sure this car's as tough to pass as possible. So might struggle through some of the fast corners, the high-speed corners, but let's see what happens. I know I'm watching Sky Sports F1, but the amount of F1 adverts I see these days, I'm watching the Williams one now with the Duracell bunny, with the awful CGI, and somebody charged up the bunny or whatever Carlos Sainz says. It's just weird. Nick says Piastri, Norris and Russell. Hey, Nick. Anushka's gone with Piastri, Verstappen and Hamilton. Piastri, Max and Lewis for Sab Mariners fan. Verstappen masterclass incoming, says Moray. Verstappen has the wrong setup for the rain. Good point, Nick, if it's low downforce, but it is still Max Verstappen. So I'm not pretending you can put him in a Morris Minor and he'd win, but he's pretty good in the wet and he's pretty good full stop, isn't he? So you never know. Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris for me. Max will struggle in the damp due to low downforce, but will charge back to second, says Fudd. It might rain again as well. Don't forget that. It might dry out completely. So let's see. It looks like showers on and off through the race, so it may never dry. I kind of wouldn't mind a wet start, dries out, then gets wet again, then dries out. Would be quite cool. Norris, Russell, Leclerc says Louis Marcus, Ollie top 10. That'd be great to see. See, Murray says this, and I don't know if he meant it in this voice, but all I can hear is Doc Brown saying where we go, we don't need roads, and it's like Max doesn't need race pace. Annette, Piastri, Verstappen and Norris. Pascal, Piastri, Verstappen, Hamilton and Sauber points with a bit of luck. Possible. We've seen them come through already this season. If it's wet, Verstappen, Pizza Man, then somebody else, says Craig. Piastri, Verstappen and Norris for Maya. Is it cooler today than yesterday? Could impact the Mercs positively. It's 17.3 degrees air temperature in Silverstone at the circuit at the moment. I don't think that's much. It's a little bit cooler than yesterday, isn't it? Not much, but a little bit. So, Piastri, Norris and Russell for Tommy. Death Surgeon says Sir Lewis. Movie Man says Norris, Piastri, Hamilton. And George does nothing, Russell for the win. Chuck Leclerc second. Max pips Lando for third. That's a cited canvas. So I'm guessing by George does nothing, you're thinking stays out, runs long, crafty safety car, nicks a win, and we all rave about him. Is that what we're thinking, cited canvas? Our team's not allowed to change setups during a race anymore. In the 90s, they adjusted wing levels all the time. They can once the race starts, but they're in part ferme until lights out, aren't they? So no, I mean you can add a bit of front wing, but you can't change the setup. You go back to 97. And 40 minutes before the start of the race, Michael Schumacher was hopping out of his car that was set up for dry conditions and hopping into his car that was set up for wet conditions, and he went and disappeared with that. Was he 22 seconds clear in 5 laps in Monaco in 97, Michael Schumacher? So it's all about right tyres, right time setups, all of that. So we're not like those days, but kind of missed that. Is there a reason? Is it cost? Stopping mechanics working all night as well and things like that, but kind of feel like a good way to mix up weekends would be to get rid of part ferme, to be honest, and do what you want to your car. But there you go. just me and my old rose-tinted spectacles, a bit of grumpy old man. I will put the Sky audio on now because Crofty's talking something. Maybe not. They're playing under pressure for some reason. Not that there's ever a reason not to play under pressure, by the way, but I'm not quite sure what they're plotting. Who knows? Formation lap will be started behind the safety car. Get the Sean Dyche meme. That's it. It'll start behind the safety car. Hopefully then, they'll go around and start. The problem is... we're going to have this whole conversation again now, aren't we, and debate it. I'm pretty confident that those laps will count to the race. So, because the cars are fueled for a very specific number of laps, aren't they? So, that'll mean the race laps will be reduced. So, there you go. Yeah. Look, I don't want to. I'll have Jonty coming in and telling me off about safety if I'm not careful. So I'll not say too much, but I haven't seen how wet the track is, to be fair. I've been talking to you guys, so we'll see. There might be some shots in a minute that make me go, oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. But, yeah. Dennis says track is almost dry. No idea, Dennis. I'll have a look in a minute, mate. I've not actually seen it properly yet, so we'll see. But it does only say formation lap, to be fair. So they may do a couple laps behind the safety car, and then they'll pull up on the grid to do a normal standing start. So it might not be anything to worry about. You want to see a standing start if we can have it. Yeah. Maybe Sean needs to be FIA president steward too, says Lyle. Maybe Lyle, yeah. I think if I was, yeah, no. That would be, well, the things that would change. It wouldn't all be good either, I promise you that. And you want to see Ferrari fixing or Verstappen fixing? Yeah, watch me go. But the skies are clearing above Silverstone. It looks, from the air, it doesn't look bad, but we haven't got down to ground level yet. So let's do the starting grid then. Franco Colapinto will start in the pit lane. He took a number, in fact, full power unit change for him. That's why he's in the pit lane with Nico Hulkenberg, therefore, lining up on the back of the grid on his own in 19th place. Ollie Bearman, 10th-place grid drop. He falls to 18th place. What a shame after a great qualifying session. Lance Stroll in 17th. Bortoletto, 16th in the Sauber. Can he come back to points this weekend? Got his first points last time out, of course, with Liam Lawson in 15th. Great weekend for him last time, too. So could he do it again? 14th for Ocon and 13th for Alex Albon. Not happy with his car after qualifying yesterday. Isack Hadjar, 12th for Racing Bulls with Yuki Tsunoda in 11th. They've moved up places because of the penalty for Bearman. Kimi Antonelli qualified 3 places higher but dropped to 10th following the crash with Max Verstappen, or into Max Verstappen at the Red Bull Ring. Carlos Sainz 9th with Pierre. Brilliant, I think. 8th place in the Alpine. 7th for Fernando Alonso. What could he do today? He's a wily old fox. Charles Leclerc 6th and Hamilton 5th. Those two teasing pole position, and they end up all the way down there. Typical Ferrari. 4th for George Russell and 3rd for Lando Norris, who made a mistake on his flying lap, as did Hamilton and Leclerc. Piastri also made a mistake on his flying lap. He's 2nd, but Max Verstappen stunned us all yesterday with a brilliant lap to take pole position. He kept it clean and delivered when he needed to. Every single driver on intermediates, as you'd expect. Again, from the helicopter shot, I don't think that needs a safety car start. But here we are. Let's Martin, I was having a great day until I read this. He's not happy, Martin Brothers. There you go. What's the latest forecast? We're expecting around 15 to 17 potentially heavy rain cells. So we could get a chunk into this race, and then it might throw it down. So I need to see a ground level or a lower shot, really, to see how bad it is or see how these cars are. But from the air, chat might disagree, but I think that was perfectly fine. In fact, well, yeah. Let's wait until they get going. Is this their first wet running of the weekend? Is that what the FIA are thinking? Maybe. Their first running in the wet this weekend. Give them a lap up behind the safety car just to get a feel for it. But isn't that what the formation lap is for anyway? Don't know. Apparently a lot of people surprised in the pit lane they're starting behind the safety car. So there you go. Yeah, again, Ted making a point there. The race director will know more than we do, so maybe there's some standing water somewhere. But right now, looking at that, there's no need for this. As we look at the Lando stand, have you seen the Lego trophies, by the way? If you haven't, go check them out on social media. I couldn't find a photo that I could use, but yeah, they've got Lego. They've got trophies made of Lego for the podium this weekend, completely of Lego. That track's, yeah, no. I don't know what the other side of the track looks like, I will say that, but that to me, it says low grip conditions on the timing screen, so maybe there's a very good reason for it. But it's nothing like, can you remember 2016? I was there. I told you the story of how we lost the umbrella as the formation lap gets underway. We were there and it was dry all day and was really, really nice. And then it just absolutely threw it down right at the start of just for the start of the race, and they had to abort the start and then go behind the safety car. It's nothing like that. So, what do we think, chap? If you watch it on TV, what do you think? Because I think that's perfectly raceable. Max Verstappen, has he got a problem? Because he was very slow off the start, and he's really backing people up here. He seems quite slow. It would be sods all that I put on a Verstappen t-shirt today for the first time for a race, and then he crashes out. There is no spray. There is a standing start. There's not even a puddle. There is not a... It is. I'm telling you now, I would be surprised if we don't see somebody like a Hulkenberg peel in at the end of this lap and put slicks on. It looks absolutely... I'm not driving these cars. I have no right to this opinion, but that looks absolutely fine to me. I've yet to see any water. There is zero spray whatsoever, and it's just annoying because what happens is that you end up in this situation where we do a lap under the safety car, and then everyone pits for slicks. You clearly didn't need it. So there's zero reason. If you disagree in chat, tell me if you spotted something I'm missing, but I cannot see. I'm very aware I'm a bit more old school than some are with this, and these are allegedly the best drivers in the world, so let's get on with it. But, I put that right from the Martin Brundle phrase book, didn't I? A day late and $1 short. You got to be on the right tyres at the right time and all that. But it's not wet at all. It's just not wet. But hey-ho. We are going to have a standing start. It's damp. So I suppose it depends what you define as wet. If damp is wet, then it is wet. But it's not wet in my eyes. Yeah, we saw the F3 this morning. That was wet. Definitely need the red flag there. But they are all on inters. But yeah, there's a little bit of spray on the exit of Chapel. I suppose that's quite a high-speed corner, so maybe that's why they wanted to give the drivers a chance just to get the feel for the track. Do we drop to... We won't drop a lap, you know. We won't, because this is going to be a standing start. Okay, so in defense of race control, if we can defend them, when you get down the hanger straight and into Stowe, which is a very high-speed part of the track, it is very wet compared to the other end of the circuit. So we've got a Hockenheim 2000 situation here, going back 25 years for you, where half the circuit is bone dry. And then this little final bit here, the hanger straight, Stowe, and through Village, etc., is is wet. It's not very wet, it's wet. Charles Leclerc's pitted. Told you. So it's slicks for Charles Leclerc. We've not even started the race yet, and we've got a car in the pit lane. George Russell's done the same. He's gone to slick, so they feel it's worth, especially with the heat. We've got a Sauber, not a Sauber, a Haas in, it's a Racing Bull, sorry. We've got somebody else in further back. Lots of people pitting here because they obviously feel, and rightly so, like with the sun out, this is all going to dry up very quickly. Piastri on the radio, last sector is too wet for slicks, but they may be thinking here, it's worth taking that risk because that sector will dry out very quickly in theory. So this is a gamble for those going for slicks, but I love it. Let's do it. Let's have these gambles. So Colapinto is in the pit lane. Bearman, Bortoletto, Hadjar, Leclerc and Russell did pit at the end of the formation lap. We've got the lights here. 3 lights, 4 and 5 lights. Off we go in Silverstone. The lights are out. The green light's on at the end of the pit lane. They'll have to wait, though, as the starters go down the start-finish straight here. And this is Oscar Piastri on the inside of Max Verstappen. But Verstappen just about holds on. We've got Fernando Alonso wide at turn 1, but he's okay through there. There's a lot more spray now. They're up to speed, to be fair. But then we get into this sector here, and you can see it's much drier than that first couple of corners there. So looking at it now, looking back at the race control decision, I can understand why they decided to give the drivers a lap in these conditions, because there are a couple of very wet bits. But the rest of it, particularly down here on the Wellington Street, it is bone dry, and we've got a yellow flag. Somebody's off in the background. The tracker's frozen on there for some reason. It's Liam Lawson. I think he's had a big shunt, actually. We'll wait and see if we get a safety car. In fact, Lawson's stopping, so I think we will do. Hulkenberg down to 12th, having climbed up to 11th. We have got a green flag. What happened to Liam Lawson? I think that might be a safety car if he stopped. We'll see what happens. But Norris and Piastri cooling their tyres. Hamilton doing the same. I want to see what's happening with the dry runners here. Really interested. Yeah, 500,000 spectators this weekend, Annette. You're right, yeah. Loads of them. I wonder what's happened to Liam Lawson, though. Ocon's got damage, so I'm guessing a collision between Lawson and Ocon. Lawson has pulled over. This will be, I would imagine, depending on where he stopped, at least a virtual... Oh, it's got going again. He's got a puncture left rear. So I'm guessing they've banged wheels. Yeah, you can see down the hanger straight if you watch it on TV. It's a lot wetter as Lewis Hamilton has a look up the inside of Lando Norris into Stowe. Is he going to be able to make that stick? Norris has gone very wide. It is quite a wide line round there. He is still on track and in front here, but Norris having to defend hard against Lewis Hamilton, who thinks better of going around the outside of the final couple of corners there. So, yeah, good start here. But, Norris twitches on the exit here. Lewis Hamilton all over him. So, it's too wet in that final sector for slicks. I think Oscar Piastri is bang on there. I was just going to say, in defense of the race control, you can see why, looking at the first corner in particular and the final sector, why the FIA wanted to give drivers a lap behind the safety car just to get a feel for things. I think actually people won't like it, and I prefer to go for it when we can, but I think actually probably quite a fair call from the FIA there, just to be on the safer side. We don't want to lose 10 cars in the first corner, do we? Or do we? I don't know. You might feel differently, but yeah, bit of a hectic start there. We have pit stops. Apologies about the track map freezing. There's not a lot I could do. I've just tried to refresh it, but it might be to do with conditions and whatnot, and also it all comes from the official FOM stuff, so if that breaks, it breaks. We have got a virtual safety car. We do need to go yellow. Lawson. So I'm guessing, as I take a breath, having done my horse race commentary, I'm guessing Lawson left rear to Ocon right rear is what we've seen there, a banging of wheels, because all the Pirelli markings have been rubbed off that racing balls, unless he's end up in the wall, maybe. Colapinto's out as well. As they've pointed out in chat, has he had a mechanical problem in the pits? Did he make it to the track, Colapinto? So why have we lost Colapinto, Kevin? Do you know why? If you spotted it before me, so I'll come to you, Kev, see if you know. You could be Ted today. He didn't leave the pits, obviously, but that's annoying, isn't it, if he's got a mechanical problem there. So this is Ocon. So through the loop, up the inside. And then, that's a bigger shunt than I thought it was, actually. So it's Tsunoda on the inside. Ocon's got to leave space for Tsunoda to come at the inside, but then sort of, does Lawson come across him, or does Ocon have to drift wide because of Tsunoda? A bit of both, maybe. That looks like that's very much, for me, a first lap racing incident from those two angles. It might be different, but I think Tsunoda come to the inside has left Ocon with nowhere to go, and then Lawson sort of turned in. Ocon's trying to avoid Tsunoda, and they've just met at the pinch point, if you like, perhaps. That was, yeah, quite a big shunt. I thought they just rubbed wheels, but it was quite a big shunt, actually, for Lawson. As into the pits comes what I assume is Kimi and Antonelli. It is indeed. What are the dry runners going to be thinking right now? Because it is definitely wet enough for Inters in, well, dry tyres for Antonelli. So obviously they're fine keeping it on the road in all those wet parts of the track. But don't forget it's going to rain in 15 laps, so they'll all be in again soon, or we hope it is. So Crypti says, what is that Haas made out of? Concrete. I don't know. Titanium. Who knows? It's made of something, isn't it? That was yeah, hell of a whack, and he's still going, Ocon, actually, in 12th place as well, which is impressive. So, off goes Antonelli straight away on those dry tyres. It's like I say, I'll get my my mouse cursor on here, look, on the track map. I don't know if you'll see it if you're on mobile, but sort of through here, in fact, actually, it's through about here, isn't it? Up at Chapel, 14, all this round here is pretty wet, and then it dries out everywhere else. So it's sort of one of those, if you can keep it on track with the slicks, you may as well go for it. But if you're on the inters, you're going to have to spend a lot of time cooling them. So strategical shouts here. Norris definitely struggling more than Piastri. We saw him come under attack from Hamilton, didn't we, at one point? Gasly up in 5th place, by the way, with all those people pitting and whatnot. So we'll watch the race start. I think it was quite equal at the front, wasn't it? Piastri had a little look into turn 1. Piastri slightly better away, maybe. Or at least better second phase. Norris really quite slow off the line compared to Piastri. Piastri thought better of sticking up the inside of Verstappen into turn 1. Norris then closes in a little bit. But Lewis Hamilton might give Lando Norris some grief, actually, at the restart. They were battling earlier on. And then we're going to see... Are we going to see the Ocon Lawson moment from above? Oh, no, we're not. Double wave yellows are out at the moment. We've got marshals out there, so we are watching the picture-in-picture, but I don't mind watching replays under the safety car or a virtual safety car, to be honest. It's when we have to watch them when we're racing. But, I tell you what, Norris and Hamilton very near to contact on that first lap coming into the loop. But all good. And this can be Ocon now. So he does go from the inside of Lawson. So they're side by side coming through 4. Yeah, and then Tsunoda appears on the inside. Ocon can't turn in. Yeah, I call that a racing incident, not a first lap racing incident, but a lot of you called the Antonelli Verstappen one a first lap racing incident, so I disagreed, obviously, biased. Virtual safety car is ending. We're just watching a replay of the squabble between Hamilton and Norris. Hamilton really good on the brakes, actually, in there. Very nearly trying it around the outside. Thought better of it, though. VSC is ending, so hopefully we'll get racing, and we are racing already. So we're going to watch now. Max Verstappen bolts. Piastri goes with him. They've got a little margin, actually, back to Lando Norris at the moment, 1.9 seconds. 10 laps till we've got rain expected, according to Ferrari, so no rain expected because it's Ferrari. Sainz and Albon really capitalising on the pit stops and early lap chaos. It was a 7th and 8th, by the way, so good stuff from them. But we are go again. And it is... Oh, and we've got Bortoletto in the wall. Oh, it's another Australia, isn't it? I'm not able to keep up with this. That'll be another safety car. Ocon and Lawson have been noted, but Bortoletto is in the wall at turn 2. I'm guessing dry tyres. Yep. Oh, he's going to try and get going again. He says he's okay. It is clouding over again, by the way. Bortoletto has got going, but I think he's got damage to the back of his car. So I'm guessing slick tyres into turn 2 flat out don't go. But we are green. No safety car at the moment, but Oscar Piastri started to hound Max Verstappen a little bit now. But these two... I wouldn't say streaking clear of Norris, but pulling away. What's Bortoletto done? I think we can work out what he's done. Through turn 1, he's sort of tiptoeing through there. Then he's going to touch a white line. Is he or something there? Oh, no, loses it all on his own. Is it still? It is still aquaplaning, isn't it? Yeah, aquaplaning. There's no point. He's got going again, but that rear wing's hanging off, so... that was silly. He might get into trouble for that Bortoletto if he's throwing debris everywhere. If that comes off, but he's definitely out of the race with that. Unless he's thinking, and now he'll get a penalty for that, I think, because that's a rear wing. It's gone off track. He might be okay, but unless he's thinking potential red flag, 40, but it's still a 20-minute change, isn't it, on a rear wing? So, is it 20 minutes now? It used to be 20 minutes back in there. It might be less now, but at the moment. Verstappen. Sorry, listen. Crofty's talking gossip here, and I was trying to watch the race, and I was like, wait, quiet. Basically, back to the point about Bottas very quickly, as Bortoletto's pulling over, so we might get a safety car here. Piastri, we'll talk about that in a second. Piastri is chasing down Max Verstappen. They are battling at the moment. No further investigation on the Ocon-Lawson incident, so they're happy that's a first lap incident. We have got a yellow flag. That might need to be some sort of safety car. Possibly virtual. You could roll that into the old pit lane, but he's been told to retire the car, so Bortoletto is out. So we're down to, and then there was 17. We're already down to 17 and we're on lap 5. Oscar Piastri might want to try and get this done if he can. But he's definitely quicker at this stage, and they are looking for water to cool the tyres. Norris just started to come back at these two a little bit, a tenth or two here. He's dropping back again now I've said that, so I'll shut my mouth. Hamilton not threatening Norris at the moment, so look at that cloud just starting to drift in now over the start, coming in for the start-finish straight. It's very dark down there, so it might be about to hammer it down, which could be a lot of fun. Virtual safety car again. This could be the theme of the day. I was just going to say... Crofty was saying there about Colapinto, is this his last race for Alpine? Rumours are that he could be replaced ahead of the Belgian and Hungarian Grand Prix in 3 weeks' time, or the Belgian Grand Prix in 3 weeks' time, with rumours that Valtteri Bottas, as you guys have already asked me about, and Jack Doohan potentially returning to take his seat. So I don't know where that's come from. That's come from Crofty on TV, as I've heard it. So I don't know if that's something that's doing the rounds that I've missed, but something to keep an eye on in the coming days then, or the next couple of weeks. So Russell has been let through by Antonelli. He is much quicker, and he was much quicker. Just letting you know, in fact, on that last lap, Russell a 151.4, Antonelli a 155.0. So yes, he was much quicker on that lap. So Verstappen sideways. That's why Piastri got so close. Drifting. I wanted to make the point because I'd heard him say it because you'd asked me the question earlier. I don't know why we're discussing driver transfers during a race when you're Crofty, but I suppose it was something more interesting to say than Colapinto's out, I suppose. But yeah, mechanical problem, I'm assuming, for Colapinto. I'll just check the group chat, see if there's anything in there. But a shame for him if it's anything engine related because they changed it. So Alpine have said just an issue with the car. I won't tell you what Matt said in the chat in response to that. But it's what I'm probably thinking as well. Anyway, so yeah, I said issue with the car is what Alpine have said. Rain in 10 minutes. That's the second time we've read that, but the last one was about 3 minutes ago, so it gets pushed back. Oh. Yeah. And that actually, to be fair, Crofty, good point. Not a lot of racing, lots of incidents. We lost Colapinto in the pit lane. Lawson crashed out on the first lap, having been in a tangle with Ocon. We lost Bortoletto as well, because he's crashed out. We've got Lando, Norris and Hamilton were squabbling at one point. We had lots of pit stops on the, 4-5 pit stops on the opening, or before the opening lap on the formation lap, which, do you know what? I was just thinking, who was it Sighted Canvas who said George does nothing Russell? What if it doesn't rain and he goes all the way to the end of these hard tyres and wins, having pitted on the formation lap? Would that count? Yeah, formation lap counts as a race. It would count as a change. So yeah. Plus it's raining anyway, so that's irrelevant now. Light rain around 6 laps, then 4 laps after that there'll be heavier rain. The clouds are rolling in. Stroll's in the pit. Because why not? So if we get heavy rain, as well, I think Martin Brundle was saying it there, as he softs go on Stroll's car. Interesting. Maybe just thinking with the rain coming, put some softs on, get some good laps in, get some overtaking done. Maybe if we actually get some laps that aren't behind the virtual safety car, make some place up and then pit with everyone. I don't know. Try, but he's going to come out ahead of George Russell and co. So it's worked out quite nicely for Lance Stroll. Keep an eye on him later. Watch him spin it just to say that. That's a heavy cloud there, just over the first few corners, and actually now around at Luffield as well, where one day when I go to British Grand Prix I will get sat, because it's probably the best place to be, really. It was raining 10 laps before, now it's 10 minutes, says Gingerfest. I thought Ferrari had said 10 minutes and then TV said 10 minutes and then it became 10. I don't know. 10 something. There's rain in 10. There you go. Virtual safety car is ending. We're off racing again. Will Oscar Piastri, I feel like on current pace as we go green, if Oscar Piastri gets through, he might disappear if we actually get some racing here, because he seems really quick behind Max Verstappen. But as someone might point out, maybe that's helped by the tow. Less of a thing here, perhaps, than Austria, but certainly a factor. And actually, it is between these two at the moment. Norris isn't with them, but here we go. Oscar Piastri is closing in and closing in. Will he have a go into Stowe? He's not going to have a go into Stowe. Just sits there again. He's got the championship to think of. Max Verstappen, he's ruled himself out for now at least. So less to worry about there. We have definitely got a lot of issue with the timing today, which will be coming from FOM, so probably to do with the weather as the thunderstorms roll in. We've had thunderstorms here today, so in fact my timing's gone down completely now. I'll say that. There we go, coming back now. So I'll try and keep on top of it, but there's nothing I can do. It's all remote, so it's going to hammer it down. It's going to absolutely throw it down in a minute. And I'm getting all excited now. Racing, love it. Chaotic races, good fun. Rain, yes. Normal grip conditions have been declared, so that means that we might get DRS. We have indeed. So Oscar Piastri will get DRS here on Max Verstappen. So game on, just as the rain's about to hit. So Piastri will want to get this done as quickly as possible. Here we go on the run to turn 6. He's having a go. And then to Luffield, but Verstappen holds the position. Now, what is Piastri trying here? He's gone around the outside. Is he going to cut back inside to have a go on the run to Copse? Does he fancy a go? He tried it a couple of years ago, didn't he? Was it last year, a year before? Made a move on Verstappen at Copse. Here we go. He's going to have a go here. He's pushing hard, but he's not going to throw it in there. Thinks better of it. Again, my phrase of the day. A little bit wide there as well. But he's going to have a go into Maggots and Beckett's. It's no point there, Oscar. Just wait. You've got the DRS now. He's gone through the detection point. This is the fight for the lead. 3/10 between them. They're about to go side by side down the hanger straight. Verstappen sliding again. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's there and into Chapel. So this is going to give Oscar Piastri a great opportunity. In fact, he's side by side already. And I'm a little bit disappointed that happened halfway down the straight, because I thought that was shaping up to be quite a little battle there, but actually Verstappen with a bit of a slide gave Oscar Piastri the chance to get side by side on the hanger straight, and he just breezed past us. Hoping we might see a nice braking move there, but there you go. It's raining. Brilliant, says Russell. I'm guessing that's sarcasm from George Russell. It might be sweat. We don't know, but yeah, now I think Piastri will disappear with this now. He is pretty quick out there at the moment. So Max Verstappen has been passed. Yeah, good move from Oscar. Yeah. if you're new to the channel, Verstappen fan who wants Oscar to win the World Championship, who also supports Ferrari. Very much hedging my bets. Let's put it that way. Oh, and this is Leclerc and Antonelli side by side on the dry tyres as the rain starts to hit. So the point I was going to make is I'd be happy. And through goes Antonelli in the final corner. But is Leclerc going to come back at him now? It is definitely raining. So this is time to pit, I think, for Inters pretty swiftly. I guess if the heavier rain's going to come a few minutes later, there's no point staying out of slicks, is there? So I think pit. I know this is a little bit of hindsight here. I get that, but I think if you are 18th, 19th on the grid, it's worth a gamble. But I think when you're starting 4th or 5th, it seems like a hell of a gamble to come in and put slicks on when rain might be around. So maybe, I mean, look, it might come good. Let's see. But here goes Leclerc having another go at Antonelli. The point I was making was that I don't care who wins out of Verstappen and Piastri. Would probably prefer Verstappen just because. But yeah. Oh, there you go. Leclerc having got the inside of left field, but not going to happen. Antonelli defending really hard here, but really struggling on these tyres. Lance Stroll, by the way, now up to 10th place on the soft tyres. Seems quicker than Antonelli, just defending into cops. Leclerc might not like that, actually, but part of racing. Russell a 141.2. So all of this rain that's apparently starting to fall doesn't seem to be hampering the wet runners too much at this stage. So the dry runners, sorry, too much. I will come to in chat. I'm not ignoring you. It's just a lot going on here that I'm trying to keep on top of. Lance Stroll is absolutely flying as well, by the way. He's right in the back of Yuki Tsunoda already. Antonelli trying to defend against Leclerc, who goes round the outside on the entry to Stowe and moves himself up into 14th place. Not great, is it? But there you go. Hulkenberg now up to 8th, but he does pit. What's he going to do here? He's on Inters, so is it risk going to dries now? With the rain clearly hovering around. Antonelli's in as well, by the way. So he's going to put Inters on. I can't understand what's happening here. It's all very chaotic. Inters back on Antonelli, who was struggling. Leclerc's just done a 140.9. That is, 3.5 seconds nearly quicker than the race leaders. So the dry tyres are working still. And they are the tyre to be on now. But if the rain's coming, no, they're not the tyre to be on. Just to make it clear there. Hulkenberg's gone to a new set of Inters, so they're obviously thinking of the rain coming. This is great stuff. Proper split strategy. Says Stroll's on a really good run here. He's not that far off the lead pace as he passes Tsunoda. He was 5. Stroll's up to 8th. Lance Stroll is picking off these intermediate runners. He couldn't, could he? Imagine. Let's not get too excited. Stroll is flying. Those soft tyres were a genius call from Aston Martin because, of course, they're going to be nice and warm, nice and grippy. Verstappen saying if it hits hard, we will need to pit for Inters because his are really bad. So maybe that's what Hulkenberg's thinking now. Get them up to temperature now so that he's ready. Norris is now catching, catching Verstappen. He's dropped a couple of tenths, actually, so maybe not. But Piastri very much disappearing. 4.4 seconds up the road. I did say, didn't I? I think that would be that game over. DRS is disabled, so rain is now hammering it down. And Stroll pits. So that's exactly what Aston have done. Get some hot laps on the softs, gain some places, and then pit, put the Inters on. It's actually really chucking it down. This is great stuff. Look, Lance Stroll. Look at the rain down the Wellington Straight. Wow. It is throwing it down. So now these leaders have got to be very, very careful because they're on used Inters now, aren't they? That have done quite a few laps, 11 laps. They've got to be careful on these. Will we need the wet tyre? Verstappen's been wide. Obviously, as you pointed out in chat earlier, the low downforce won't be helping him in these conditions. In fact, Verstappen's really struggling for grip. So the intermediates are not working. Just keep an eye on the driver tracker for yellow flags here, because this could be utter chaos. These guys have got to get to the pits. They might need wet tyres. And no, Verstappen's got no grip at all. And here goes Norris nearly into the back of him in cops. Piastri will pit. They will need to double stack McLaren, but they might be okay because there's enough for gap, isn't there, back to Verstappen's struggling. Is that a combination, chat, of really old Inters as Verstappen goes wide and he's on the grass? Is that a combination of really old Inters and a lack of downforce because of the low downforce setup, maybe? But he has been off, and through goes Norris as the Lando stand go mad. God, imagine what they'll do when he achieves something. Goodness me. It's a joke. In comes Piastri. I assume Norris will be in as well, and so will Verstappen. I wonder if Verstappen... look, hindsight, isn't it? Verstappen could have pitted earlier, but you're just working in hindsight there. What's the point? Top 3 are in. They've all made it back. I can't keep up with this. It is going to be intermediates for Piastri. It'll be a fresh set of inters for Norris. It's a slow stop for Norris on the left front. A very slow stop, actually. 5.1, and he's back behind Max Verstappen. Verstappen a 2.2 stop. Norris a 5.1. So now we're going to find out, if I get an answer to my question, whether it's the red flag's a good shout, potentially. I mean, yeah. Albon's up to 4th. In fact, Albon is not up to 4th. Alex Albon is 2nd. Ocon up to 5th, despite crashing on the first lap with with Liam Lawson. So what's going? I can't keep up the pit stops, guys. You'll have to just look at who's dropping on the timing tower. Everybody's pitting because of the conditions, obviously. So I'll try and keep you updated. Once if everything settles down, I'll run through the order, who's on what time. But this is chaos. Albon's got Verstappen trying to get... So Verstappen on fresh inters, don't forget. So these should be really nice and grippy. And Albon's really struggling on his old inters. And down the inside goes Verstappen, who lost a load of time behind him. But Piastri, by the way, 9 seconds clear. That rain is heavy. We are looking down through the spray and whatnot, though. So maybe looks worse from this angle. But that's proper rain. Norris and Albon are going to go toe-to-toe here on the entry to Maggots and Beckett's. Will Norris have to wait? Or will he be able to slip through? Yeah, Albon's got 0 grip. You can see him struggling just to do anything here. Albon will pit this lap. He's been told to box. Sensible move. I don't know what's going on. Stroll's 6th, by the way. Hulkenberg 7th. That was genius from... I think that was a really smart move from Aston Martin, and I hope they get a lot of praise for that. Stick the softs on. Push for 4 laps. Pit as soon as the rain's about to hit. Put the inters on. He's got himself into 6th place, up 11 places. 10 minutes of this rain, apparently. So we might yet move to wets. We may yet end up under a safety car. We could end up with a red flag. I hope more towards ending up on wets, to be honest. So it was the left front, wasn't it? I think. I'm looking at you, chat. Tell me. Yeah, we're looking from above, so I think that is. And then obviously Verstappen, because he was 2.2 seconds versus 5 point whatever for Norris, gets back out in front of him. So frustrating for Lando. But Piastri, 10 seconds up top. It is the front left. Slow off. Same as Austria. Interesting. Still raining heavily. But yeah. Hulkenberg's up to 4th. Has just passed Lance Stroll. And Stroll's back through. I'm trying not to get excited at Hulkenberg anywhere near the top 3. I expect a huge explosion if Nico Hulkenberg ends up on the podium. Long old way to go. They reckon on the graphic everywhere's inter except for where you don't want it to be wet, and that's at Cops. They say that is full wet tyre. In fact, it's now we're going to get a safety car or a red flag here. It's too wet. Too wet for F1. I say let him get on with it, and Norris is right on the back of Verstappen again. It's very wet through there. You definitely need the wets through that sector. I can see these two in the wall if this gets spicy. But yeah, look at the rain. Hamilton says it's definitely wet tyres right now, so I think maybe... Are we actually going to use the wet tyre, or are we just going to go straight to safety car or red flag? Do you reckon, chat? Piastri's bogged off. 13 seconds up the road. See you later, lads. He just needs to keep that tidy. Do you risk it? I mean, if you're Bearman, for example, do you come in and put the wets on for a bit of extra pace, maybe? But if half the track's inters and half the track's wets, what's the right way to go? We've got a yellow flag out there. Now it's gone green again. It was Albon, I think, up at turn 14. I apologise again for the timing. It keeps freezing, but there's not a lot I can do, unfortunately. So we're not that far behind the situation. Safety car deployed. There you go. And that wipes out Piastri's lead at Silverstone. Yeah, this will go to red flag. Well, apparently I'm more old school than Martin Brundle. I'm like, get on with it. No one's put the wet tyres on, but we've got wet enough for the safety car. So, well, we haven't got wet enough. That was worded very poorly. It's wet enough for the safety car, but no one's put the wet tyres on. So, you know, Yeah. That's exactly it. I was waiting for one to say it. Crypteaser said it, I think, first. What's the point in wets if you can't race them? Exactly that. If I agree, you look at those conditions, that's enough for a safety car. So I'm not criticising that. What I'm saying is, if we've got to the point where we need a safety car and no one's running the wet, what does that say about the wet tyre? Why do we bother taking them? Off track goes Charles Leclerc. Actually, that's a replay. Just keeps it planted across the grass. Why not? There you go, Charles. And rejoins. Great run onto the hanger straight. That's how you do it. It's Maggots and into, so it could be Beckett who's wide there and then just straight across and just has to keep going. No grip at all. Yeah. Says he had water coming through his visor. A huge splash of water. Couldn't see anything. So there you go. Yeah. I just don't see the point in the wet tyres. But what I will say is it's given us a very interesting race thus far, even though most of it's been behind a safety car, a virtual safety car. Verstappen did lead for a while. Oscar Piastri overtook him now eventually on the hanger straight. We've had virtual safety cars for Bortoletto and Lawson out of the race. We had a full safety car as well because of the rain. We've had all sorts going on. At the moment, though, your running order... And I'm not lying if you're not watching, you're just listening. Oscar Piastri leads. Max Verstappen second. Lando Norris is third. Lance Stroll is fourth, having pitted twice. Once for softs and another time for inters. Nico Hulkenberg is fifth. Up 14 places, having pitted twice for inters. Pierre Gasly is sixth. Esteban Ocon had a crash on the first lap with Liam Lawson. He's seventh. Lewis Hamilton is eighth. George Russell ninth. Alonso 10th. Fernando Alonso 10th. Carlos Sainz 11th. Albon 12th. Tsunoda 13th. Leclerc 14th. He's been off track. Antonelli 15th. Hadjar 16th. And Bearman 17th. So yeah, I was just going to say, remember, the big winners in all of that shakeout. Stroll, Hulkenberg, Ocon, maybe Gasly in there. Gasly was sort of around there anyway, wasn't he? So maybe not, but certainly Stroll and Hulkenberg. I think that was an inspired call by Aston Martin. 3 or 4 hot laps on those soft tyres, and then as soon as that rain hits, get him in the pits, and that's what they did. All perfectly timed. A little bit of luck involved, of course, because he was coming to the pit lane just as the rain started, but still, great stuff, and he's 4th place. And given how we've started, we're 15 laps in, by the way. We're nowhere near the end of this race. 38 to go. The way we've started, who knows how this ends up? You can still see a dry line. They all have inters. What the hell is this, says Nick. This is my frustration. I don't see the point in the wet tyre if we don't use them when it's wet enough for them. It's baffling, but I understand why teams haven't pitted, because why would you lose 25, 30 seconds to put the wets on? But if we need a safety car, then it's wet enough for wets. So obviously the teams don't like them. The trouble is they're only any good for conditions like this, so they'll last 2 laps as the track dries out, then you've got to pit again, so it's not worth making effectively an extra pit stop for a handful of laps maximum. So yeah, but here we are. We'll see what happens. Nobody on the wets because it's not putting the rain on. We're passing 10 laps. Yeah, just sort of saying, Louis. You got there at the same time as me, mate. Just sort of saying. But yeah. Please do drop a like, by the way. Although I will say we are on 69 likes and I'm a child, so, you know. But if you could drop a like to get us to 100, there's 400 odd of you here. So it would be amazing if you could drop some likes and get it to... I do like to hit 100, triple digits on these streams. So we want to keep supporting them so that we can keep doing them. So please do drop likes and subscribe as well if you're new. I'll have a look if anyone's in the stream last things. Thanks to Harris, to Paul, to Hunter as well, to Titan, to Stelios. Thank you for all subscribing. Appreciate that. Not every name shows up, so I can't give you all a shout out, but I'll try and keep it out for you on the screen. But obviously I'm watching the race, so can't always catch them. But thank you for your support this weekend. Quite a few subs have come in, so really appreciate that. So likes and subs, etc. I'm going to end the poll, by the way, which I didn't end before the start of the race, so you probably all voted again. But you 31% Verstappen, 30% Piastri, 24 other, and 12 Norris. So I may have been swayed by what's happened since, so that poll was irrelevant. There you go. Lewis Hamilton's in chat, multitasking. He says, why the hell is there a safety car? Just drive. Don't get me singing that awful song. Do you really think this is worse than the wet conditions in 98? No. Safety cars in Spa 98, Nick. This is why we need our chat off camera and off stream, Nick. I'm sure there's plenty we'd like to say. But, you know, we only got safety cars really in 98 because of crashes, not because of the rain. But, again, it's the wet tyres are pointless, as Louis says, and I don't know why we bother taking them. But the sod's law is the time you don't take them is the time you actually need them. So it's like, why do we take wet tyres to Bahrain, full wet tyres to Bahrain? Is it ever going to rain heavy enough for full wet tyres? And even if it does, it's going to dry out so quickly, what's the point? But you can guarantee if you don't take them one time, you're going to need them, and then you're going to look foolish. So, and then we're all moaning we've got no racing. So, yeah. Safety car is for the rain. Just so you know, if you are just tuning in, a couple of you just popping along now. So yeah, safety car for the rain. It's they're all on inters. It's been if you only just tuned in, you've missed 16 laps of utter chaos and confusion and great fun actually. But yeah, the rain really hit hard about 3 laps ago now, and they decided 4 laps ago decided to deploy the safety car, and there are a few replays now that they show where it really is hammering down, but it'll start to clear and then we'll go racing again. But it could be one of those races where it's a bit stop-start. Big winners today. Esteban Ocon hasn't pitted, by the way, just to let you know. In fact, he is the only driver yet to stop. Ocon likes to do this, doesn't he? Run as long as possible. But the big winners in all of that, Lance Stroll, Nico Hulkenberg, and Esteban Ocon. Question mark over Pierre Gasly. He is up 2 places, but 2 cars ahead of him pitted anyway before the race even started. We had cars in the pits on the formation lap. It was that confusing at the start. So, yeah. But Lance Stroll, I think, the big winner there. Just needs to keep it on the track now. Come on, Lance. You can do it. Morris did in testing and no one had wets. Yeah, but even then it was only, that was quite funny actually, but only Ocon went out on a set of inters, didn't he? Even that wasn't even worth the inters. So Bahrain was sort of that awkward phase between dries and the intermediate tyre was the problem, but it was quite funny. I didn't hear who that was, but somebody complaining on the radio that it's not safe to continue. I don't know who said that on the radio. I don't know. Weird. They might play the radio. I'm just saying what Crofty was saying there. So if anyone knows who said that, we might yet get a red flag. And then we'll get a red flag. We'll all sit around for an hour waiting for the race to get going. It'll dry out completely, and then all be on slicks for the rest of the race. And that'll be that. So you know how this goes. If you've watched F1 before, you know where we're going with this. I tell you what, if we are going to get a red flag, get your questions ready, please. The blue skies are rolling in, though. If blue skies ever roll in, they don't really move, do they? But it's the clouds that roll in, but you know my point. So it is quite wet, but there is a line there. I can see a line that is raceable, but if you wander off it, here... Oh... apparently it was George Russell. Oh, well, ignore that then. Not because it's George, but because of where he is. Of course he's going to say that. It's a bit like if Hadjar went, this is too dangerous, we all need to stop. Safety car is in this lap, so there you go. Ignore George Russell. Ignore him. Talking nonsense is George. Bless him. If I was ninth place, having got it all wrong at the start with the tyres, I'd probably sit there going, oh, we can't race anymore. It's not safe. Let's call it now. Put a nice set of slicks on. That said, I mean, he's got the right same tyres on as everybody else, so he's got to make his way through now, hasn't he? So, yeah, but we are going to get going. The field is bunched up. Oscar Piastri really backing the pack up here on the hanger straight. I will switch that off because we are about to go green, and I'm also going to try and select something that isn't annoying me. There we go. Lovely. We're ready. Oscar Piastri, prior to this, had a 13-second lead, by the way, so he's not really best impressed. Where are we on the track? I can't work out where we are. We just come through Stowe, and Piastri has just bolted now. Got to get this right. Can't overtake to the start-finish line, as you will all know. Tiptoeing round there. A little twitchy from Verstappen, from Piastri, from Norris, Stroll as well. Everyone twitching through there as Russell looks ready to have a go at former teammate Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, the sun is out, so this is going to dry out, but it's going to take a while. Down into turn 1, I'm going to watch on the driver tracker more than I am on the track now, see what's going to happen. It'll soon tell us. And there goes George Russell up the inside of Lewis Hamilton into 8th place at turn 1. We sensed that was coming. Max Verstappen Verstappen. This could swing back Max Verstappen's way in these conditions. He is 1.8 clear of Norris already and still 1.2. That is George Russell has been repassed by Hamilton, and now he's having to fend off Esteban Ocon. The clouds are rolling in again. I don't know what's going on out there. Who cares anymore? It's good fun. Here goes Charles Leclerc trying to get past Yuki Tsunoda for a whopping 13th place. We're only 18 laps into this race. Not even completed lap 18. This is great stuff. But Piastri at 1.7 clear. So Piastri seems okay as Leclerc sends up the inside of Tsunoda into, is that Brooklands? I always get those corners mixed up. And then into Luffield. But yeah, through he goes. This is a lot of chaos. Lance Stroll, by the way, 1.2 clear of Hulkenberg and only 1.4 behind Norris. But it's still very dark skies out there, and it's still very wet on the run to Cop. So this is where people have to be very, very careful. I can't even see who Leclerc is squabbling with there. It looks like a Williams. I think it's going to be. We've got yellow flags out there. It's Isack Hadjar in the wall, isn't it? Has Hadjar been hit? Because that's an odd place to have an incident. Unless he's aquaplaning in the straight line, in which case this is going to cause a fuss, isn't it? Leclerc is all over Albon, and there is a safety car. Yay! Not yay that Hadjar's in the wall, but yay that we have a safety car again. That's a really... Is that the in... Where is that crash? That's a big crash as well. What is Is that entry to Cops? That looks like a really weird place to crash. It's the entry to Cops, isn't it? So he's sort of gone straight... He's not gone... You know where Verstappen crashed or was taken out in 21? Yeah, it's a little bit earlier than that. So it's really early in the corner that he's gone off there. So safety car deployed. In comes Esteban Ocon. That's a nasty one for Hadjar. Hopefully he's okay. He said he's okay on the radio, but a big shunt there. So we've got the safety car again. Our old friend, Sammy the safety car. Could have been aquaplane. I just wondered, there might have been... I don't know if anyone's side by side with him there, but... I'm only picking up on what Anthony Davis said. I didn't catch the full thing, but it sounds like he's tried to avoid somebody, possibly Antonelli, didn't catch the rain light to the last second and then had to swerve to avoid, which would explain why he's in that position in the barrier at that point. And you look at that wall on the inside there. Is that a concrete wall that he will have maybe run down there before he's reached the Tepro? Here we go. On board with Hadjar on the run to Cops. The rain light is there, but then it disappears into the mist. And, he hits Antonelli. Oh, yes, very unlucky. He appeared out of nowhere, and we just saw it on board there. If you watch it on TV, the rain light disappears, and then suddenly, the next time he sees the rain light, he's already in the back of Antonelli. That will have done untold amounts of damage to the back of Antonelli's car, and it's absolutely destroyed Hadjar's. That's just one of those visibility things. That's a dangerous corner to have no visibility at, as we've just seen. So this is Russell overtaking Hamilton at the restart. And then I'm guessing, we didn't quite watch that. I was watching Verstappen versus Piastri, see if anything happened there. But Hamilton then comes back at him. Is he going to send it into the start? He does, round the outside. That's a nice move, that is. Hadjar and almost got Ocon as well, actually. Hamilton. That's why he was squabbling with Ocon. In fact, he got both of them, actually. Great move. Almost banging wheels there, Russell and Ocon. So yeah, that's what's happened to Hadjar. That's a nasty one. Yeah, but I know I'd say slowed down early, but I'm not blaming Hadjar. I can't see a penalty there. Antonelli slowed down because it's wet and there's no visibility, and in fact he's probably got a lot of damage himself. And then Hadjar's got in the back of him and saw the rain light last minute. That's just one of those visibility things. A lot of cars will have slowed down in that corner. But I will say, not pointing blame at all. But Antonelli, when we were watching him earlier versus Russell, he was really slow, wasn't he, in these conditions, really struggling to, quite literally get to grips with it. So maybe he was a little slower than others were through there, but I don't blame anyone for that. Antonelli's got to be careful through there. He didn't want to crash. Hadjar couldn't see the light until it was literally too late. Yeah, the stewards might look at it differently, but I've just realised Toto Wolff has a flat cap on. Because they're doing a bit of retro stuff, aren't they? Can you remember the last time Mercedes turned up with flat caps and retro and what happened? I'm looking at you, chat. Can you remember what happened at that time? Hockenheim. Bit wet that day, wasn't it? Absolute chaos. So there you go. It's Toto Wolff's fault for wearing a flat cap. Yeah, 2 safety cars and 2 virtual safety cars, as far as I can remember, is the safety car count at this point. Ace. Yeah. Recovery vehicle on the track at turn 9. Oh, I don't know. It was a hell of a race, wasn't it? Was that the same race, Red Raven, where we've talked about before? The stewards gave Ferrari a fine for the unsafe release on Leclerc, and everyone went absolutely mental because they'd effectively put a price on pit lane safety. Was that the same race? Because Hamilton crashed, didn't he? Leclerc crashed. Hulkenberg was in the mix for a podium and stuck it in the wall. In. Yeah, there was that one as well. Yeah, hell of a race. Madness. Couldn't even tell you who won it. Verstappen from Fiat, was that year? Can't remember now. Oh, God, going back a bit, isn't it? But yeah, Lance Stroll laughing in 4th place. He's loving this. I'll give you a run through the order. We are waiting for Hadjar to be cleared. Oscar Piastri still leads. Max Verstappen 2nd and Lando Norris in 3rd. Lance Stroll 4th. Nico Hulkenberg 5th. No, I'm not lying. 6th for Pierre Gasly. 7th for Lewis Hamilton. 8th for George Russell. 9th for Fernando Alonso. 10th for Carlos Sainz. 11th for Alex Albon. 12th for Charles Leclerc. 13th for Yuki Tsunoda. 14th for Ollie Bearman, 15th for Kimi Antonelli, and 16th for Esteban Ocon. Piastri says the puddle in turn 2 is a problem. Burnt has got his work cut out for him, even in the safety car, so it's not very nice in an F1 car, is what Piastri said. We've also lost 4 cars. Hadjar just crashed, having ploughed into the back of Kimi Antonelli with no visibility at Cops. Big accident there for him. Antonelli is continuing, but with a lot of damage. Bortoletto crashed out. I can't remember where he crashed out, but he did. Turn 2, I think, didn't he? Got going again, then pulled over. We got a safety car, a virtual safety car for that. Liam Lawson was hit by Esteban Ocon on the first lap, or hit Esteban Ocon, or whichever way you want to look at it. It was definitely a first lap incident. No penalty. Lawson's out. And Colapinto started in the pit lane and never even left it. So, yeah, a shame. Antonelli told to box. I'm guessing a fresh set of inters and a good inspection for damage here. The slippery drag strip, that was mental at Hockenheim, wasn't it? As soon as they were wide in that part of the stadium section and they caught that drag strip, it was over, wasn't it? Straight in the wall. The whole right side of his diffuser, as Ted says there, completely missing. So that's going to be painful. Yeah. Last place for Anthony for now. Even with the pre-ground effect 21 rules, they are working the diffuser much harder than the 90s, says Nilesh. I think Stroll always drives like it's wet, so when it's wet, he suddenly becomes an absolute beast, says Daniel. Except for in Brazil last year, was it? That was a moment, wasn't it? Kevin's still got the German Grand Prix recorded. I might have to go watch it later. Now I've got it in my head, and we're talking about it. That was a heck of a moment. So. Great shout from John Jones here. Says the Alpine is a boat, hence why they are good in the wet. There you go. I like that. Lance Stroll does like the slippery conditions. Don't forget pole position in Turkey. Was in... I don't know if the qualifying was wet, but the track was like ice, wasn't it? So... Clever from Mercedes. Hot tyres now to restart, says Ocon. So Ocon's keeping an eye on Antonelli. Sassy says, Stroll P4, damn, yeah. Anyone coming in now think I'm lying and have made that up. It's photoshopped. I'm making it up. Hulkenberg 5th. Any drama ahead, we could get a big surprise today. Neelish says, Germany 19 was one of the only races I missed. Oh, of all the races to miss. You should have picked a Monaco, unless you had a good reason to miss it, of course. Last race I missed live was Germany 2000, and that's because I went to the party on the pier in Cleethorpes to go see Billy Piper. Verstappen's passed Piastri, who's basically stopped on the hangar straight. But I don't know what Verstappen's supposed to do there. I'm sure Crofty will push for a penalty, but that was Piastri basically stopped in a straight line, and I know he's back in the pack-up, but you know. We've hit 100, by the way, on the likes. Thank you very much. We are go. Oh, Verstappen spun it. Oh, shut my mouth. Verstappen's round. At the restart, before we've even got going, Max Verstappen in a spin. Norris moves into second place. Can Verstappen stay ahead of that second Williams? He does just about. Yes, he does. What happened there? To what I'm guessing, put the power down on the exit of Stowe and went round. Piastri's been noted for a safety car infringement. I'm guessing that's stopping on the hangar straight. I know it's his prerogative, but that was a bit much, I think. Interesting. They might do something here, the stewards. Although, having said that, Piastri might disappear now. Let's see. But yeah, Max Verstappen has had a spin, and he's got a problem. He's really struggling here, Max Verstappen, to get any grip, any temperature in those tyres. Is it the downforce? Oh, I tell you what, Albon twitching as well as he passes Verstappen. Verstappen's going to come back at him now, I'd imagine. I'd imagine he's quite annoyed as well, Max Verstappen, as he goes down the inside of Albon into Brooklands, and then he's got, of course, Luffield. Will he get round there? Stays off the line. I'd like to see I'm guessing he's just put the power down on exit and got it all wrong. We've lost Esteban. Oh, no, Bearman's had a spin. Sorry, it's a Haas has been round. In fact, he's been across the grass. That's where Bearman is. And look at the spray on the run down the old pit straight. Is it the National Pit Straight? I guess he just put the power down the exit of Stowe and got it wrong. Here we go. So we're watching this from Piastri. That's a big stop from Piastri, that is. Verstappen did nearly go into the back of him. I think Piastri might take a penalty there. And then Verstappen, yeah, he doesn't even get to the exit of the corner, really. Frustrated Verstappen, maybe going off line not helping. And round he goes. So I think that was a bit naughty from Piastri. I know it's his prerogative, but that's a big stop. Meanwhile, McLaren have gone, by the way, as Bearman had a spin as well. Collected, I think, actually, by somebody. Straight across the corner at Luffield there. Good driving for Bearman to get going again. But yeah, Hulkenberg's at the Stroll's on the podium. Under investigation, Piastri. I think that's going to be a 5-second penalty, to be honest. Box to retire the car, Antonelli's told. And then there were 15. Yeah, it's where they class that as a erratic drive, but he just slammed on the brakes, didn't he? I think that's too much on the hangar straight. And Verstappen takes evasive action, not making excuses for him, but maybe then goes onto the wetter part of the track and he's offline and then goes into Stowe and round he goes. So a level of frustration as well, I'd imagine. So yeah, but Antonelli is going to retire the car this lap. What replays do you want, Nick? And I'll tell you if I've got anything in front of me. Yeah. So Piastri is under investigation. He's 3.6 seconds clear of Norris. Lance Stroll is third. Hulkenberg is fourth. Gasly is fifth. Hamilton is sixth. Russell is seventh. Alonso is eighth. Ninth is Sainz. 10th is Verstappen, who's just had that spin, of course, after the restart there at Stowe. 11th for Albon. 12th for Leclerc. 13th Ocon. 14th Tsunoda. 15th Bearman. Antonelli is still 16th, but he is going to retire the car. So, yeah. We'll see what the pace is like as things settle down. But at the moment, I think Piastri's going to take a penalty. So you could argue advantage Norris here, which would be interesting. They match each other at the front. So there we go. Crofty just said we're not even at half race distance yet. It feels like we've had a whole Grand Prix worth of action. In fact, compared to some, we have. But there you go. It's still raining. It's still very wet out there. Visibility quite poor. McLaren's, I just listened to what I said in comments, but McLaren 42.3, 42.3, Stroll of 44.9, Hulkenberg of 45.2. Yeah, those McLarens are disappearing. All right, I'll concede, Craig. I didn't mean racing in the sense that we mean racing. I meant as in action, I suppose, rather than racing. I'll apologise for that. I don't know. I've not got all the info in front of me, Kieran, but I would say as Hamilton goes off at Copse and Russell will slip through, I would say the difference is that Piastri basically stopped on the hangar straight, having already, Russell was accelerating, braking. Piastri pretty much stopped. But I don't know. My advice, Kieran, is not to try and second guess what the FIA will or won't do most of the time, because we'll never understand what goes on. Here goes Alonso through. Well, I know I'm watching him, and now I've lost him, and now we're going back to George Russell. So Hamilton's going to go wide at Copse there. Does indeed. 10-second time penalty for Oscar Piastri. That's confirmed. Done. So Norris has got this in the bag unless he bins it. There's Antonelli in the pits now. That's over. That's a lot. It's 10 seconds, but yeah. So advantage Lando Norris. You can imagine the noise that has been made on Sky right now. The circle jerk shall begin. Lance Stroll, though, that's going to put Lance Stroll. Well, it's 9.7 to Norris. It's 12.6 to the leader. So he would. He's got the pit. Yeah, he would fall. He would fall behind Stroll, Hulkenberg. When he pits, Gasly probably as well. Yeah, he's going to drop quite back here. He's going to have to push Piastri now, I think. But Piastri could just sort of keep going now, can't he, to his pit stop? He doesn't have to serve it in 3 laps or anything. He can keep going to his pit stop. So good shout. I tell you what, actually, that's a great shout from Fudd actually in chat. I'll just see this through here with Gasly versus Russell. But Fudd in chat just saying there, the problem is McLaren may need to double stack at some point. So if it absolutely chucks it down now and they need to pit for some new tyres, not only has Norris got to sit behind Piastri, he's got to wait 10 seconds. So McLaren, they might decide to swap the cars before that point. I'm not saying now, but I'm just saying if it starts to rain, they need to make the stop. They may have to swap the cars around so they don't have to sit Norris with a 10-second penalty. That's a good point. Hulkenberg now 9/10 off Stroll and a couple of tenths quicker on that lap. So, interesting. Don't forget as well, Piastri was 13, 14 seconds up the road at one point in this race. So, he has got pace in that car. That would be... Look, no hate to Lando Norris. It would be quite funny. just for a laugh. For that to happen and then we get a Stroll win, Hulkenberg second, Gasly third. I'd go for that today. Sounds impossible. Not totally. The McLarens are gone. This is Austria, but in the wet. They're just showing a replay now. Yeah, that's too much of a stop. That's very different to Russell in Canada. That's too much of a stop from Piastri for sure. Yeah. We saw it live, didn't we? So... Zach Brown says they're debating whether that was a fair cop or not on Piastri. I'm shocked to my very core. Bearman and Tsunoda under investigation. So it was Tsunoda who Bearman tangled with. By the way, Yuki is down in 15th place here. Despite all the chaos, he's still down 4 places. I mean, did he pit on the first lap? No, he's been on Inter since the start. So that second Red Bull is just a shower of, well, rain. There you go. Yeah, Piastri can take the penalty at his pit stop, Nilesh, so he doesn't have to come in now or anything. It isn't a stop-go, it's a time penalty, so he hasn't got to serve it in 3 laps. He can wait till his pit stop. So I think that's what Fudd was getting on about there. As Lewis Hamilton has a go now at George Russell into Stowe. Nicely late on the brakes. Through he goes. And up into what is 6th place. But yeah, just wondering now if McLaren have to double stop if we get a big rain shower. Or double stack, that might cause them some problems. But... yeah, Hulkenberg here is right on the back of Stroll. They've got a decent gap to Gasly for now. Oh, there you go. Oscar is a 10-second penalty. That means we will not follow him into a pit stop. So McLaren already covering that off. So that's that one. Liam Lawson looking on from the pit wall. So we can stop theorising on that one for now. But even so, yeah. Even so, if the rain comes again and Piastri pits, then Norris has got to do a full lap on old intermediates on a wetter track, hasn't he? So it's still going to be a disadvantage, but that's the game, I'm afraid, when you've got the fastest car. 10-second time penalty for Yuki Tsunoda for causing a collision. That was with Bearman. So that one is a 10-second time penalty as well. So Tsunoda, that's going to ruin his day. Yeah. Yeah, the car is bad. We know the second car's bad, but is it that bad? Is it back of the field, 3.1 seconds off a Haas, 2 seconds a lap slower bad? Really? look, conditions, some drivers don't do well in the conditions either. He might have damage as well, Tsunoda, hence why he's so much slower at the minute. Nearly 3 seconds on this lap slower. So it might have some damage, so that might be why. But still, Hamilton all over Gasly here. We need Stroll and Hulkenberg to push if we want a shock result here. Otherwise, Lewis is going to breeze up to the back of them. Send everybody mad at Silverstone. So... if there's a VSC, Norris is screwed. Another fair point from Fudd there. Piastri's been told about the penalty. 18 seconds back to Stroll is the gap as well. He's been told about the gaps around him. No response. No response at all. So getting on with it is the key here. 3.6 the gap. Ebbing and flowing between sort of 3.5 and 4 at the moment at the front. So Verstappen not making any progress either. 1.1 behind Carlos Sainz. So it's all sort of falling apart for it. It's a t-shirt. I'm telling you now, right? I don't necessarily believe in jinxes, but I wore the Ferrari t-shirt yesterday thinking they were on for pole, and they were 5th and 6th. Max Verstappen on pole today, puts the Verstappen t-shirt on, spins out. There you go. It's all my fault. I've ruined it. Call myself a Verstappen fan and I do that to him. It's shockingly bad. Yeah. Not a lot really to comment on at the moment because Hamilton is just trying to pass Gasly. We're going to watch a replay of Tsunoda and why he got his penalty here. What's he done? Bearman to the outside and Tsunoda's just going to, yeah, tags him. Round he goes. It wasn't a big accident, was it? He's not slammed into him. It's just a little tap. But in these conditions, it's round he goes and off he goes. But yeah, oh, Gasly just squeezing Hamilton on the exit of Stowe there. He was having a look around the outside. A nice little squeeze there from Gasly. All fair. All's fair in love and war and all that. Yeah, I could rename the channel F1 Voodoo. That'll do. I've ruined it. I'm just keeping an eye on what you're chatting about in chat because I'm intrigued. But yeah, Kevin's chatting to Joe about some stuff. So yeah, get every team to pay me not to represent them. Good idea. Make a fortune. I'll make a fortune. But yeah, just to confirm, penalties for Tsunoda, 10 seconds. 10 seconds for Piastri as well. At the moment, 3.6 a gap at the front. It's all settled down now quite a bit. And actually... there's only one gap under a second, and that is Leclerc to Albon. So it's all settling down. There could be some rain. I don't know what the forecast is saying. So Egan says that what is going on? Stroll potentially on the podium and Hulkenberg 4th. I only stopped watching for 10 minutes. It's been one of those races. Yeah, it's been chaos. We've had Antonelli, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Lawson, Colapinto all out. We have Verstappen spin after... well, Piastri slammed the brakes on the hanger straight on a safety car restart. He's got a penalty for that because it was too much. Verstappen then spun at the safety car restart of Stowe, which dropped him down to 10th. Stroll made a great pit stop in the middle of all the rain for some soft tyres, which has really brought him into play. And they've both got good pace as well, actually. 43.6 for Stroll, 43.4 for Hulkenberg, 43.5 to Gasly, and 43.6 to Hamilton. So some great pace out there at the moment. But you fancy if Hamilton gets past Gasly here, it won't be long before he's closing up to the back of Hulkenberg. But, Gasly's going to get defensive. No, he doesn't. And Hamilton's going to get through into Vale there. And through he goes through Club. And that is all done and dusted. Up into 5th place. We'll find out if that's right now, won't we? His next target is Nico Hulkenberg, who's probably trying to work out what's going on out there, really. Kevin says somebody in front of Hulkenberg needs to sacrifice himself so that Hulkenberg get on the podium. I think the McLaren should retire. That they should be kind, you know. Hashtag be kind. Retire. Let Stroll and Hulkenberg on the podium. Hamilton could go and have the afternoon off as well. Gasly can have P3. That's fine. Never going to happen. McLaren are arguing apparently with the stewards. According to Ted. And they're talking about the precedent as somebody has said in chat about Canada. Kieran said in chat about Canada. So I'm just listening to what he's saying. Can you appeal in the race? Or are they going to go off to, or are we talking post-race here? But even if, what do you do if they win post-race? Does he get those 10 seconds back on his race time, or? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Well, no, it's not even that, is it? Just imagine if, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the rules. It's very strange. Maybe Kieran had a point on the Russell thing. Something to do with 30 psi. They were saying about the brake pressure. So if they're above that, they might have a case. Is what Ted was saying, I think. But I can't imagine. Can you argue that in a race? I'm going to the group chat. They might be talking about it. I don't know. Trying to see if there's anything in there. Doesn't look like it. Driving unnecessarily slowly in a dangerous manner or erratic, it can be a 10-second penalty up to a stop-go with up to 3 penalty points. Yeah. I don't know. Nothing in there about it. But I do wonder if they are arguing. I'm not sure you can in the race. How do you go about that? Is that Zach Brown knocking on the steward's door? The gap at the front, by the way, is coming down. 2.6 the gap now. So Norris coming back at Piastri. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. We'll see. If it comes up and they take the penalty away, we'll know, won't we? But then you've got a whole other controversy kicking off then, haven't you? So, I don't know. Yeah. Max isn't making... I mean, you say, Kevin says Max 10th, Eek. He's making no impression at all on Carlos Sainz. And if anything, he's under threat from Alex Albon behind. Albon slightly quicker on that last lap, a 10th of a second. So a 10th is a long time in F1, I guess. So, but Hulkenberg sat there in 4th place. I tell you what, actually, to be fair, Hulkenberg now 8/10 off Stroll, but a little bit quicker on that lap than Lewis Hamilton. So Nico Hulkenberg has genuine pace. I can't imagine what Pascal's doing right now. But yeah. That is interesting here. Yeah, get off the Hulkenberg on board, please. We don't need to watch him crash it in the wall when he's on the brink of a podium. It's what Hulkenberg does. He gets just about there, and then that's the end of that. Craig says the problem is Piastri is not English. Oh, they're trolling him now. 239 career race starts for Nico Hulkenberg. No podiums, so there you go. Yeah, no, look. Temps are coming up. The track is starting to dry, is what Stroll is told. Hulkenberg is definitely sort of close enough. No DRS just yet. That'll get tasty if it does. Yeah, you know my views on the English bias. It's why I get so annoyed when people accuse me of British bias. Cause it's like you couldn't be any further from the truth. And I mean that on pretty much any level. So certainly when it comes to sport and Formula One, it just... Yeah, I had to grow up in an era where Michael Schumacher was Satan because that's all I got to consume because we didn't have the money to consume anything more interesting than the BBC. So it just always put me off it. But yeah. Stroll, 6/10 now clear. But Hulkenberg's really coming at him here, actually. And is still... Hamilton a little bit quicker on that lap. 3/10 on that time around. So maybe just impacted a little bit here, Hulkenberg, by Stroll's pace. But as the track starts to dry... expect your Strolls and your Hulkenbergs to, in theory, at least, to start to drop off a bit because the other cars should come back at them in theory. It's all theory, of course. It's all theory. No, we're not jinxing anything else. Should I go put a Hulkenberg t-shirt on? Why not? I'll go get one. Drying very slowly, still not close to slicks, is what Piastri has said. So we might be looking at a good stint yet before we get there. But, I mean, these ints will start to go off as they burn up, of course. But look at Hulkenberg all over the back of Lance Stroll. Yeah, Leclerc's had a lap time deleted for track limits. Not that it matters here quite so much. But Hulkenberg is really pressuring Stroll now. And I think, actually, Stroll's in the 43.9. Stroll 44.2. Hulkenberg 43.9. Lost 9/10 to Hamilton. I think Hulkenberg needs to dispatch Stroll as quickly as possible. So, I think he's got the pace here, Hulkenberg, if things sort of stay in this sort of area, weather-wise. But it is drying, so probably won't. But Verstappen is now on the back of Sainz, so starting to find some pace now, which is good. As the track dries, it might come back to Verstappen a bit more, actually, because the lower downforce should suit the car better, shouldn't it? The dry conditions should suit the low downforce of the car a bit more. So, but I mean, he's 38 seconds off the lead, so not winning it today. Yeah, a shame, but I think we're all a little bit on edge at the moment with what's happening in the battle for third place. If you put a Hulk shirt on, I will hunt you down, the delivery guy, and swap it for a package containing a shirt saying "not today." Go on then. Why not? Why not? Is it too late for a Nick Heidfeld victory? Probably, yeah. Probably a little bit too late. Would you pit Piastri now with the gap is already 25 seconds? No. Because he's going to come out in traffic, isn't he? Because you've got to think, if he pits, your pit stop is what? 20 seconds? Is it a Silverstone? Is it 25? I can't remember now. You stick 10 seconds on top of that, and that's 30, 35. So you're falling down into Hamilton, potentially Gasly territory. So he needs to build a bigger gap than that to Stroll. But that gap is going up every lap. So considerably, actually, 1.2 seconds or 2.2 seconds on the last lap. So he'll soon build that gap up. I'd wait till he's got a big enough gap back to Stroll to be able to pit, take the penalty and get out in clear air and chase Norris down as best he can. But yeah. I don't think McLaren are doing anything about the penalty. I don't think they can they? But they might want to argue something afterwards, but I don't know what the point is then, because I don't think you can overturn in-race penalties. I'm sure you can't. Certainly not after the fact. It's too... Oh, Russell nearly in the back of Gasly. That was close. DRS enabled. It's on the run to Cops, and Russell just needs to think better of that because it's too wet on the inside there. Very nearly. Normal grip conditions is what they're saying. If you just watch George Russell coming down the run to Cops there, that is far from normal grip conditions. That is very wet. So, yeah, offline, of course, but that's what they're declaring. Here goes Hulkenberg with DRS on Lance Stroll into Stowe, and Nico Hulkenberg, for now at least, moves up into third place, but Lewis Hamilton is hunting them down, and you'd fancy him as the track dries out now to catch Nico Hulkenberg. But what can Stroll do? Can he hold Lewis Hamilton up for just a few laps? Let us enjoy Hulkenberg in the top three for a little while. It's been a long time. He ain't going to hang on to it unless something happens, but yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy it for now, chat. Why not? Nico Hulkenberg, top three in Formula One for the first time in what feels like about 3 million years as Lewis Hamilton passes Lance Stroll. So the answer to the question, can Lewis Hamilton hold off Lance Stroll? Or can Lance Stroll hold off Lewis Hamilton? The answer is no. Although, I tell you what, Hamilton really sliding through the loop there. So that might make the decision. But Hamilton on for a podium here. Ah, oh, Crofty, shut up. Hulkenberg is third. 26 seconds off Norris, 28 off the lead, 1.9 clear of Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen, I think, has finally got past Carlos Sainz. He has indeed. Into the final few corners there. Very wet on the inside, but he gets through it up into 9th place. Verstappen, of course, spinning at the safety car restart, which is why he's all the way down in 9th place, having started on pole. Hulkenberg of 43.089, Hamilton of 43.044. So, first clear lap for both of them now. Let's see what they can do. Hulkenberg quicker in the first two sectors. That's interesting. He's just going to give it everything now, isn't he? He's got to, Hulkenberg, but just imagine. I don't want to get ahead of myself. We've got a long old way to go. We've got 17 laps yet, but I sense that Hulkenberg might get more of a roar from the crowd on the podium than Norris would. I think we'd all be relieved for him. But George Russell still battling with Pierre Gasly. Let's forget about Hulkenberg for a little while. Otherwise, this is going to drag like crazy. But Gasly and Russell still fighting for P6. The battle's on track. There's lots going on, actually. Ocon 1.6 behind Bearman, who's only half a second behind Albon. Leclerc is 8 tenths behind Sainz. Verstappen is closing in on Alonso. Russell is half a second behind Gasly. I think we're about to see this overtake now. Hamilton is closing in quite rapidly now, actually. So just enjoy it while you can, Pascal, if you're still here, mate. Enjoy it while you can. Even P4, though, would be fantastic, wouldn't it, for him and Sauber today? It would also sum up quite nicely Nico Hulkenberg's career in one race, wouldn't it? I've still got the yellow flag on the screen for some reason, so apologies. I don't know why that was on, but we're not under yellow, so sorry about that. I forgot. So much has gone on. You're lucky it wasn't a red flag. As Leclerc sends it up the inside of Albon, who sort of swings out to avoid him a little bit there. So Leclerc is through into 11th. Hamilton's within DRS now of Hulkenberg. Track conditions update when you can is what has been asked. Track is pretty decent. It's starting to dry up a bit, so the pace is there for Ferrari. But Lewis Hamilton is... that's a hell of a lap from Lando, 140.7. Lewis Hamilton is actually 30 seconds off the lead. So this is probably, unless we get safety cars and drama later, pretty much what he's looking at as best result today is P3. But let's see. Yeah, Leclerc having a really poor Grand Prix. Yeah, it's not McLaren, sorry. Leclerc. I think I said Leclerc, but yeah, not great. Just hasn't worked for him, has it? I don't think... And again, this is with the benefit of a lot of hindsight. I don't think when you're sat, Russell 4th, Leclerc 6th on the grid, it's worth pitting at the end of the formation lap for dries. I think that's the sort of thing you do when you're right down the back. Tsunoda could have tried that from the middle of the pack, for example. But I think you've potentially thrown away a podium today if you're a Russell or a Leclerc potentially. Obviously, Hamilton may have come through anyway, but we don't know. But yeah, not sure. Hulkenberg's pulled away a little bit, 1.1 seconds a gap. But yeah, Norris is now coming back at Piastri. So yeah. Nick says in Nico's case, P4 would be tragic. Yeah, like I say, it sums up his career, doesn't it, P4 today, having been in the running for a podium. But I still think when you think about where Sauber were, even at the start of the season, 4th place is still a mega result. He'll be very happy with that. But he'll go home tonight happy with P4, but thinking, why will it never happen for me? Why will that podium never click? We are only 16 laps from the end. Still a long way, isn't it, in these sorts of conditions? So it has gone very quiet. If you missed the first half of the race, by the way, chaos. We couldn't keep up. Yellow flags, safety cars, VSCs, crashes, mechanical problems, rain, no rain. Oh, madness. Dry tyres on a wet track. Wet tyres on a dry track. Yeah. Had about everything today, haven't we? So, and a penalty for the race leader. So, I'm going to check Twitter, actually. I don't like checking that cesspit, but there might be something on there from somebody who's... Nothing that I can see on Zach Brown. Russell, depends how brave we want to be. We're running P7. Alonso pits. Is Alonso thinking dry tyres here? Potentially. I can't see anything on McLaren and Piastri, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing they can do. They can only go and complain, I think. So, I don't know. Bearman's had lap time deleted. 4 tenths between Hulkenberg and Hamilton. I think this is it. What you're looking at here is Hulkenberg's first podium, Hamilton's first Ferrari podium. A lot of people say the sprint win, but I don't count the sprint for anything for anybody, really. It's just a sideshow. Yeah, there's championship points on the line, but these are the ones that matter. Yeah. It's got a shot here. 8 tenths, though. I think now Oscar Piastri's in a position where he might be okay. 31 seconds is the gap. He could make a stop soon if he wanted to. Norris just did a 39.6. So the laps, we want to be around, is it around the 35s? The crossover point. So we're still a good 4 seconds away from that at the moment. But the lap times are tumbling. But yeah, Piastri could pit if he wanted to. But I mean, surely you hang on as long as you can. Because we're getting to that point now where it's going to be a case of, do you want new inters? Do you want dries? Or do you think about, I don't know, it's very different track, very different conditions, very different circumstances, but do you think about what happened in Turkey all those years ago now, what feels like? Do you stick on the inters as long as you can and just stick with the tyre you know? That they shouldn't go pop. They should be fine structurally. I hate that word. Can't say it, that's why, but yeah. They'll fall off, but we've seen you can run them quite low, can't you? It's almost to slicks. But I don't know. Russell's gambling, though. He can gamble. He may as well. The track's inters according to the graphic. I'll just throw some ideas out there. Don't take them all too seriously, obviously. It's me. I'm just a fan, like you guys. I say just a fan. Just a fan is the... It's like when you used to get snotty relatives when I worked in care homes. Oh, you're just a carer. Okay, well, you wipe your mum's bum then. Do you know what I mean? Just a carer. Just a fan. There's no such thing as just a fan. Norris is closing in again, though. Back to the... get that image out your mind. I think worth a go if you're George Russell this time, but I'm not sure the first one was, but let's see what he does. I'll keep an eye on his lap times. Let's watch like crazy. What we're watching here is this Tsunoda very nearly into the back of Alonso. Is on the mediums, by the way. So, I mean, look, 13 laps to go. Would you put the softs on rather than the mediums or the hards? I mean, Russell hasn't got any fresh hards left, so probably not for him, but further back you may as well. It worked for Stroll really well early, didn't it? Sainz, that was completely reckless by Leclerc. Oh, it was quite a late dive, but I think Leclerc's had enough today, to be honest. Up to 8th place. Verstappen's 7th now, by the way. 39.5 for Norris. We're still a long way off the crossover. What's Russell doing? Yellow flag, and that's what Russell's doing. That's exactly what Russell's doing. George Russell is off track. He's had a spin. That couldn't have cut any better, could it? What's Russell doing? That's what he's doing. Spinning. It was through Maggots and Beckett. It's a bit like Leclerc's earlier, but he has rejoined. He's okay. But yeah, clearly, as he drops to 14th, to say okay, he's 14th. Clearly not the right time. It's the hard compound anyway. He's not used the medium, so they could have put the mediums on. So he's out of cop's fine. Keeps it planted, and then it's into Maggots. Oh, yeah, round there. Just after Maggots, and then round he goes and rejoins. Like I say, Leclerc over that gravel and grass through, I suppose you still call that Chapel. It's still technically the corner, isn't it? And then off he goes, rejoins. So, yeah, nasty one there for Russell. Hards is weird. I still think you could have gone with softs if you had some, but I don't think Russell had any fresh ones, so... But I'd argue even a used set of softs is better in these conditions than hards. He's also got a set of mediums, so they could have... Russell Toto Wolfstein with his flat cap on. Not happy. Not happy at all. Almost bangs his head on the monitor. It's not worked for Mercedes, has it, today? Also, just take a second, ladies and gents. Nico Hulkenberg's 2.1 seconds clear of Lewis Hamilton. And 7/10 quicker than him on the last lap. 12 laps to go. Everyone's on the edge of their seats, just gripping anything they can. Come on, Nico. Hang on in there. I don't think there's a driver I'd be happier for than Nico Hulkenberg today if he gets a podium. It would be great, you know, for the romance of it all, the story for Lewis to get his first Ferrari podium at Silverstone. But, you know, Hulkenberg's been waiting for 27 years. It's been 84 years. So he's on it. He's doing well. His tyres are a couple of laps older than Hamilton's, but should be okay. Verstappen now on the back of Pierre Gasly, who, by the way, quietly has driven a very tidy race. He is still up 2 places for the start. He's now going to be at 1 place because Verstappen's down the inside. But I think Gasly's done well today and actually had a really good weekend from qualifying, hasn't he? Given where the Alpine's been lately, he's pulled out some great results, and he did so yesterday and again today by the look of it. So, yes. Hulkenberg, I don't want to keep talking about Hulkenberg, but he's 6/10 quicker than Hamilton again. So they've reviewed, or they've had a look at the Sainz Leclerc incident, and they've decided no further investigation. So a bit aggressive from Leclerc, but no contact. So reckless was the word. Piastri on team radio. So Piastri told, let Norris, keep Norris out of DRS. If he gets in DRS, basically don't make it too difficult for him because you've got the penalty. So effectively team orders, but they're not ushering him out the way. They're just saying if he gets DRS, don't fight too hard because he's got a penalty anyway. So whatever happens from here, if they don't pit, as Lewis Hamilton told to box, if they don't pit, then it's still going to be McLaren 1-2. If they do pit, it's probably still be McLaren 1-2, but Piastri would still be second. So it's soft tyres for Hamilton, slightly slow on the right rear. Stroll's in as well, 3.1 seconds for Hamilton. So Pascal's got everything crossed for the first podium for Sauber in 13 years. And yeah, that'd be quite Who was the last one? Would that have been a Perez one? Would have been, wouldn't it? I think Perez or Kobayashi. Probably Kobayashi 2012 Japan. Let me know, Pascal. You're the one to turn to for those. Worth it for Hamilton, by the way. He comes out in P4, so he's not lost anything, except for 23 seconds to Hulkenberg. Oh, what do you do? So Hamilton needs to be 2 seconds a lap quicker on wet tyres on a damp track. And Leclerc's gone past Hamilton. So that actually... I'm not going to get too excited. And before you start, Hamilton fans, it's not against Lewis. We all know what we want here. It's nothing against Hamilton. There's only one person we want on the podium, and it's nobody but Hulkenberg. You've just got to stick it out, haven't you? Surely. But was it Kobayashi, Pascal? Thank you. I thought it was Suzuka, wasn't it? 2012. That was quite a moment. But Perez, was he 2012 as well? That was a nice little period for them, wasn't it? That time for Sauber. But yeah, Hamilton was off track. That's why. So this isn't working. We're still in the 38s. The crossover point is the 135. So we're still 3 seconds away from the crossover. So actually, as Hulkenberg pits, oh, Nico, no. No, Nico. Nico, no. Oh, no. He had 30 seconds on the cars behind. I think they could have left that. Leclerc boxing as well. I'm hoping it's a fresh set of inters. It won't be. What are they going to do then? It's mediums. It's a slow pit stop as well. And we've got a yellow flag. It was a 4.6 second stop for Hulkenberg. Oh, no. Nico. Twitching on exit here. In comes Leclerc as well. Everyone in chat's doing the same. No, Nico. What are you doing? Hamilton's now going to be right on his backside with, well, not quite, but with warmer, softer tyres. I think, given how unlikely it is that Sauber going to get a podium otherwise, and the fact he's never had a podium before as Piastri pits, I think kind of gambled on leaving him out there. We'll keep an eye on the lap times, but but that's why I'm not a strategist. Oscar will pit. We will go past once, is what Norris does today. Obviously, it is time for slicks then. 8.1 the gap. So he had to gap Hulkenberg, but only 9 to go. My leg is twitching like crazy. 8 seconds the gap. 14.6 for Piastri, obviously, with his penalty there. So he served that. He will rejoin in second place. We've got a yellow flag. It's Ollie Bearman and Ocon. And what's happened there? It's Ocon, sorry, is off track. He's had a spin on those medium tyres. This is my concern for the Dream Hulkenberg podium. This is my concern. Apparently Bearman and Ocon collided. I just heard Martin Brundle say. So Piastri needs to gain about 10 seconds on this lap over his teammate if he wants to retake the lead. A safety car would spice this up. I don't want a safety car. I prefer a Piastri win, but I don't want a safety car because that's going to ruin it. Here's what happens then. So Ocon and Bearman. So it's Bearman up the inside of Ocon into Brooklands, and then they bang wheels. Oh, they've both spun. That's why they were both slow on the driver track. And there's debris down there, so I wonder if they might. So we've still got yellows out there. I think they're going to put a safety car out here, you know. Probably. Where's Norris on track? In about 5 seconds time. 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they didn't. Fair enough. Leclerc's slow, by the way. Is he in the pits? Sorry, look at Leclerc on the driver tracker. He's very slow. Has he had a spin? I feel like Leclerc had an issue there. I might be wrong. I was watching the driver tracker and it has been freezing quite a lot, but I feel like Leclerc's been off there. No safety car. I was just being cheeky. Norris was coming around Stowe and I thought now would be a good time for a safety car, wouldn't it? But he was going to rejoin the lead anyway, so I'm only having fun with you all. Verstappen, mate, this car is just undrivable. And then he says something with 4 letters, but stars instead of letters. So I'm guessing he said, like, you know, damn. I don't know. I'm sure something happened to Leclerc. Because why would he still be behind Ocon, who spun? I might be completely wrong. And I can't rewind on the live, unfortunately, on the driver tracker. So I can't even go and check. But, Yeah, I might be wrong. Piastri is only 5.3 behind Norris, by the way. And there's a lot of debris out there on the track. They might want to put something out. But just to let you know, it's 7 seconds to Hulkenberg to Hamilton with 8 to go. He was 8 tenths quicker on the last lap, Hamilton. As Alonso goes through its 8th. Stroll is still 5th, by the way, somehow. Verstappen's 6th with his undrivable car, in his words. Yuki Tsunoda's like, tell me about it, Max. Oh, Piastri. Oh, big twitch. Just as the radio graphic came up, he had a massive moment there and nearly right off track. So he'll have to back off a bit there so he doesn't gain an advantage. But yeah, that was nearly a moment. He just went on board with him. That was squeaky bum time. He has given the time up, to be fair. I think they're arguing in commentary box as well. Crofty's suggesting there that the McLarens didn't need to pit with the advantage they had, and then Marty Brother said, I've been saying that for the last 10 minutes, haven't I? So there you go. Or the drivers were, I don't know. But this is the moment. It was coming through. We just came on board here, and then he just had a big twitch, and then straight across at Beckett's and rejoined at Chapel. But he has backed off and given that time back. So he is rapid, though, is Piastri at the moment. Obviously, Norris is getting silence temperature. And they have noted Sainz and Leclerc for causing collisions. That might be what happened to Charles Leclerc. That would be, yeah, make sense, wouldn't it? That would make sense. Fastest lap of the race, Nico Hulkenberg. My TV might change channels in a minute because I think one of the dogs has hold of the remote downstairs. And for some reason, they're all interlinked. So I might suddenly start watching Friends or something. So we might have to change. Hulkenberg's... Yeah. Hulkenberg's quicker than the leaders. 33.4. Alonso's just on a 33.1. He's not going to gain 22 seconds, Hulkenberg, but that lap could be so important come the end of the race. Gap at the front, 4.3. I just want to apologise as well. If you're new, usually I'm way more chatty with you in chat. And we do like to have a bit of banter and a lot of fun. And I haven't really talked as much to you as I usually would. But in my defence, a hell of a lot has been going on. So I apologise. Leclerc went off. There you go. I told you. It was at Stowe. And it's with Sainz. So that's what's happened. Because Sainz looked like he was off as well. But yeah, apologies for not really chatting much to you as much as I'd like to. We'll have a good chat after the race, though. Just because so much has been going on. And every time I turn to talk to you, somebody's spinning or sliding or there's a safety car or whatever. So, yeah, apologies. Piastri 131.6, Leclerc, Norris a 131.7. So that's stop that for now. Bearman, by the way, is only a 6 tenths off of 4 tenths off George Russell here for a point. And he's been in the wars today, Bearman, hasn't he, with the incident with Ocon and then the penalty as well. They are going to investigate Bearman and Ocon after the race. That always annoys me. But also, when it's teammates, it doesn't surprise me because I imagine they'll pull the team in and say, don't do it again. They might let that slide. They usually let it go. But we have seen recently 2 teammates, one of them penalised, haven't we? So they might make an example of them. But yeah. Yeah, oh, absolutely, Kevin. Yuki has absolutely got last place totally under control. He's 34 seconds off the car ahead and hasn't pitted any more times than anybody else. Current vote split, by the way, on Drive of the Day is Nico Hulkenberg 43%, Hamilton 13, Norris 10. Bearing in mind it's the British Grand Prix weekend, you'd expect that to be a British driver top of that vote, but no. It is Nico Hulkenberg who is comfortably top. I think I know who you're all going to vote for when we do ours. Even if it doesn't stay like this, I still think he'll deserve a great shout. We are 6 laps from the end. The gap is 5.9. Hamilton was 1.3 quicker on that last lap. So Hulkenberg needs to pick up the pace. Personal best first sector, not a great surprise. 7 tenths slower than Hamilton. Penalty serve for Piastri, that's fine. Actually quicker, 1.5 seconds quicker in the middle sector was Hulkenberg. So did Hamilton make a mistake somewhere? Again, about the driver tracker, sorry, but I can't do it about it. So yeah, good shout actually, Daniel. The used softs might fall off, and he's now 7.2 behind. So he's definitely lost a lot of time there. Bearman is on for a point here. That'd be quite incredible. Piastri not catching Norris now. That is all quietened down. In fact, Norris 6 tenths quicker on the last lap. Piastri's mistake, you have to say. They reviewed Sainz Leclerc, no further investigation. Piastri, well, we're not doing team orders. It's just 5 laps to the end. Do we read that as they're doing team orders? No. So, yeah, that's it. I get it now. Yeah, sorry. I understand what they're saying now. Clarified there by Martin Brundle. They're saying they're not going to swap the cars around because you can't penalise Norris for a mistake that Piastri made. That's not fair, but also there's a championship fight to think of here. And if we want to fight for the title, we sort of need Norris to start winning a bit more consistently, don't we? But I kind of want Piastri to. It's been so long since we had an Australian world champion. We had a British one a while ago, Lewis something. We don't need a British world champion. We've had a Dutch one for a few years. We want an Australian now, or a German like Nico Hulkenberg. You never know. David Bearman watching on. Ollie's dad, he's been there all weekend. Ollie Bearman's brother was racing in F4 this weekend, wasn't he? It's not a championship event, but it was nice to see F4, F3, F2 and F1 in the same weekend. That was a rarity. A Monegasque could be great, actually, Fudge, yeah, but I'm not convinced Leclerc's going to be fighting for a title this year. He's 14th at the moment. The only driver in a worse position than him is Yuki Tsunoda. Nico Hulkenberg is 6.6 clear with 4 to go. I don't know if you can see my shoulders going, but my legs are going like crazy here. It's been so long since we've been this close. And if you've been around a few years watching F1, you can't count that until Hulkenberg's over the line because you know it can all go wrong so quickly when it comes to Nico Hulkenberg and a podium. Baku, was it 1 year? Was running 4th, stuck it in the wall on his own. Germany, that one we were talking about earlier, was in with a shot for a podium, crashed into the wall. It can go wrong quite quickly. So we need to get this in. In fact, should we just turn it off and watch something else and come back and make sure he's done it? Or no, Murray, what? Yeah, I'm not going to. Hulkenberg, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. There's no way. We're watching Norris. 30.7. Hamilton, very quick. But there's only 3 to go. It's whatever. I tell you what, I know. Norris had the pace. He was coming back at Piastri, wasn't he? So I don't think this all comes down to the penalty. I think with the pace that Norris was showing prior to the pit stops and the pace he's showing now, I think it would have been a good fight between Norris and Piastri for the win. Piastri may still have come out on top, but certainly the change to the front end of that car has definitely helped him as well, massively. So we might get a championship fight here. Yeah, TK56 says, "Could somebody please wave the flag already?" Yeah, do it a lap early, it's fine. Do it now, it's all good. The wind's not going to change hands. Will Verstappen get Stroll? He was 3 seconds quicker on the last lap, and he's 2.3 behind. So I think, yes, he will do, though, Domar. Just stop the race now. Come on, Nico. Oh. I tell you what, Nico Hulkenberg's quite a cool, calm guy, isn't he? I could imagine quite an outpouring of emotion if he gets on the podium. Even if just a massive roar. He's been in F1 for 106 years. It's been a long time. 239 career race starts. There we go. They're just desperate to jinx it. Oh, my stomach's doing cartwheels. That's yeah. Can we just get off board with him, please, F1 director? Can we go and sit on board with, like, Tsunoda or something and just quietly get to the end of the race and not bother? I'm tense. Piastri quicker than Norris on that lap, by the way, by 0.3 of a second. Oh. I'm going to drink on stream with my weak orange squash because I don't want to leave. Damson Idris. F1 move. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. He's off the TV. We are 2 laps to go. Stroll bottling a perfectly good strategy by his team. Shocker. I don't know. 5th place. I mean, it's still up 12 places, isn't he? So it's still a good result, but not anymore. Through goes Verstappen. It's still 6th place for Stroll, which is a lot more than he looked like he was going to get earlier in the race. It was that middle strategy call, wasn't it? That soft tyre. We are on the last lap for Lando Norris. I almost wish they'd lapped everybody apart from up to and including Hulkenberg now, because this would be the last lap for everyone. Well, it's going to be the last lap for everybody soon, isn't it? So there's definitely a delay on this timing screen. I don't know why, there just is. So Stroll does get passed by Verstappen. He's up to 5th. That's a decent recovery for Max, but 56 seconds off the lead in the end. Probably looking at it now, not having the pace to win, but he definitely had the pace to be higher than 5th. But 5.1 the gap, Hulkenberg to Hamilton. Final lap of the race. Hulkenberg is just coming through turns 16 and 17 now. He's got Tsunoda ahead of him, who he will lap. He's coming up behind Tsunoda to lap him. Sauber lapping a Red Bull. Wow. Goodness me. If you're watching Sky, by the way, it's all about to get rather unbearable. So mute it once Nico's over the line. I'm sorry for quiet, but I'm so on edge for this one now. Lando Norris waves at the crowd. Ask Nigel Mansell why you don't do that, Lando. Just be careful, mate. As he goes past the Lando stand, celebrating his 7 wins in F1. Round the final couple of corners comes Lando Norris. Bless him, over the line to win the British Grand Prix. Lando Norris is a British Grand Prix winner. His 2nd win on the bounce, of course. First time he's done that this season. Oscar Piastri, round the final corner, takes P2. Could have been a great fight between those 3. Had everything gone to plan. There wasn't a penalty for Piastri. That was going to be a good fight, I think, towards the end, but unfortunately robbed of that because of his mistake. But keep the cheers going, because Nico bloody Hulkenberg is round Stowe. He's into the final couple of corners. I could cry for the guy. Nico Hulkenberg gets a podium in Formula One. A million race. K-Mag was here. He was the lucky charm. Nico Hulkenberg is a Formula One podium sitter. I don't think anybody expected that ever to happen, but he's done it this weekend. Wow. Oh. I'm not an emotional guy generally, but bloody hell, I can feel that. We'll do all the emotion for him, lads. It's fine. It's all right. We don't need to worry about it. It's good. That's incredible. What a drive. 5 seconds clear in the end of Lewis Hamilton. So all that tension, as it turned out, it didn't matter. He was in control. 16 places as well he gained. I know we had all the pit stops at the start and the chaos and all of that, but goodness me. What an effort. Let's get some... I tell you what, let's get some green circles in the chat for the Hulk in his Sauber and some German flags. Let's do it in chat to celebrate. You know, no offense to Lando Norris, but he just is not the story today, is he? As far as we're concerned, he will be for Sky and Co, I'm sure. But what a moment! Hulkenberg's radio. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Oh. Is he in tears? He says he can't quite comprehend what's happened or what we've just done. Wow. Yeah, Robot Lunchbox coming in here to shit all over our strawberries. Says, now, bro, he's going to get disqualified. Yeah, would be about his luck, wouldn't it? Wow, what a moment. What a moment. Nico Hulkenberg. Pierre Gasly had something happen on the final lap. We're going to watch it now. It's going to be a move for P6. Is it on Lance Stroll? It is indeed, yeah. So well done to Pierre. No offence, Pierre, but I don't think anyone really cares right now. Round the outside of Stowe, actually quite a nice move. And through he goes. Nico Hulkenberg. Oh, we're going to have to watch the podium. We don't usually pay a lot of attention to it. We're going to have to now, aren't we? Yeah. I don't know what to say. Do you know what? I do swear a lot, and I try not to too much, but Annette says it there. I'm so fucking happy. Exactly that. So pleased for him. And you know, I am actually quite happy for Lando winning his home Grand Prix. Quite a moment for him as well. Oscar Piastri, yes, he's lost a bit of a few points to Norris, but he still picked up the best result he could given the penalty, so he's still hanging on to that championship lead. But Nico Hulkenberg, that's the story. Actually on the final lap quicker than Piastri as well, 5 seconds clear of Hamilton. Yeah, what a moment. I wonder if Norris looks to his left and sees Nico Hulkenberg and can't quite believe he's there, and faints maybe. I don't know, we all should, but yeah, wow. There was Sky declaring Lando Norris or Crofty as the British number 1. Sure. But there is Hooker again at the car. Come on. Max Verstappen straight over to congratulate him. I suppose Norris and Piastri have all the time in the world too. They've got a podium to enjoy, haven't they? And is that Bortoletto running to him? Zach Brown with Lando. I can't do the accent. Kevin writes it better than I say it. Oh. Nilesh says button, crying. I'm trying to think what the what you mean by that, Nilesh. I've probably missed something, but that's huge. That's a big moment, and there he is with the team. Sauber's first podium since 2012, we believe. Kobayashi at Suzuka, and I tell you what as well. If that's the last podium the Sauber team get as the Sauber team, that's a nice way to sign up before Audi, isn't it? That's kind of a nice thing too. Who knows? This could be it. This could be the start of Nico Hulkenberg going on a run of podium finishes. You watch him do it in Spa and Hungary now, so we get 2 chaotic Grand Prix again, and we'll all go, oh yeah, whatever, Nico, get over it, mate. I will come to you in chat properly in a bit, but thank you for all your stuff there. Look, can we have some lots of likes on the streams as well if you haven't already? Not for me, but for Nico. Forget me. All for... Yeah, everyone's getting bored with the Hulkenberg dominance. Exactly, Charlie. It was Bortoletto. Surely there's some emotion under that helmet. He just sounded really calm on the radio, but I guess, you know, he's not an emotional wreck like the rest of us, is he? So, there you go. Exactly. Do you know what, Annette? That's another great comment. This is why we watch F1. You know, we talk about boring races. I think that final, once Piastri got that penalty and the track was drying and McLaren were disappearing, it was quite obvious that there wasn't going to be a fight at the front, and all eyes were on Hulkenberg, really. But we watch for, you know, you might have a dominant car, or it might be that it's really tough to beat McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari for points. But every now and again, you get a result like this, and this is why we keep watching. These shocks do happen, and when they do, they're quite magical. But for some reason, I think this is a proper big shock as well. He started 19th. He finished 3rd. Yes, we've lost 5 cars, but he pitted at the right times. His pace was great. He's grinning from ear to ear, as you'd expect. And all right, the softs went off for Hamilton in the end. That's definitely part of it. But he kept him at bay. When they pitted Nico, I thought that was it. And Hamilton was closing in. I thought, well, that's that then. And then, even prior to that, he found the pace he needed to when he needed to, and that's key. So, thoroughly deserving drive today. It's not all emotional. You have to look at it from a racing perspective. He did an amazing job today. I know that... where are you? I've lost you. I think... was it Moray possibly not happy with us calling it racing, or was it somebody else who said it earlier? But yeah, that second, the first phase of the race, the first half was all about chaos, wasn't it? Who can keep it on track? And that was kind of the first part of the race. Then the second part of the race was very much when's Piastri taking his penalty and can Hulkenberg hang on? But yeah, big moment. Jensen Button's doing the interviews. Oh, this will be a moment. Here we go. Oh yeah, the DCSF's gonna be mad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to this. So if I go quiet, I'm sorry. Been a long time coming. Yeah, just a bit, Nico. Just a bit, mate. What? Just while he's talking, actually, I'm half listening. Let me just check something, because I don't want to get the stat wrong, but it's So Sauber's last 4 races, 5th, 8th, 8th and 9th in Austria, and 3rd today. They're on a hell of a run. So that's going to put them, so 26 plus 15 is 41 points, isn't it? That's going to put them 6th in the Constructors. I'm getting a calculator out just to be sure. 31 points. Sorry, what am I on about? 41. No, it is 41. I'm sure it is. I can't even use a calculator properly. What's wrong with me? So they've got 26 points. You're watching Maths Live. 41 points. That does put them... it will put them ahead of Racing Bulls, who didn't score today. That's going to put them 6th. Am I wrong, chap? I might be wrong. You've just watched me do Maths Live. It's embarrassing for all of us. And with a calculator. Wow. That's huge. That is huge. And not just today, but the run of form they've had. Wow. One hell of a jump. So who holds the record for the longest time without a podium now? That's a sensational question. I'm guessing it's me. F1 driver records. Let's have a look on the old Wikipedia. Podium finishes. Most races before scoring first podium. It'll be, well, it's difficult. So most races without scoring a podium is Adrian Sutil now on 128, apparently. Most races before scoring first podium is Nico Hulkenberg, 339 starts, 242 entries. So it's Adrian Sutil. On the current grid, it can't be Yuki Tsunoda. He's, yeah. Who hasn't had a podium? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Adrian Sutil doesn't race, so that doesn't matter now, but on the grid, I don't know. Bearman. Oh, what? That's my doorbell. That's Nico Hulkenberg coming around with the champagne. Somebody else can get that. I'm not. Yeah. Wow. Anyway. Lando Norris getting cheers, but Nico Hulkenberg for me, driver of the day by a mile. We'll do that in a bit. I'll run through the result before we get to the podium. I do need to have a quick swig of drink, so give me... I'll be quicker than yesterday. 15 seconds, have a quick drink. I will fly through the order for the timestamp. And then, if you can hear the dogs barking, I'm sorry, somebody at the door. But and then I will, we'll take some questions. We'll do driver of the day. We'll waffle for a bit because I think we all need to take a moment over that and go through the whole field and work out what the hell happened. Back in 15 seconds. Ah, 2:22. Lando Norris has won the 2025 British Grand Prix ahead of teammate Oscar Piastri, 6.8 seconds the gap. Piastri was leading quite comfortably before we got an early safety car, which bunched the pack back up. He then, a little bit later, under another safety car, I believe it was, slammed the brakes on the hanger straight. The stewards weren't happy with it, and they gave him a 10-second time penalty, which is why he fell to second. Although I still think we were looking at, with the pace they were demonstrating and what we saw towards the end, we would have had quite a good fight between Norris and Piastri without the penalty anyway. So we were kind of robbed of that, but Piastri not very happy in his interview, that's for sure. Nico Hulkenberg, 3rd place. Yes, Nico Hulkenberg is on the podium. Jesus Christ, what a drive. Gained 16 places. As I said earlier, found the pace when he needed to. There's a point before the final round of pit stops where Lewis Hamilton was closing in, and then suddenly Hulkenberg just found the speed. Hamilton put some tyres on. Hulkenberg put some dry tyres on as well, but he hung on in there, and a great drive. Lewis Hamilton as well, I think, deserves a lot of credit for his drive today to 4th place, given everything that happened in that race. 5th place, Max Verstappen, the pole sitter, led away. Had the lead for a little while, but Oscar Piastri eventually breezed past him down the hanger straight, didn't he? And that was kind of it. And he never really looked like he had the pace to win today, Verstappen, but he certainly had the pace to be on the podium, it seemed anyway, at one point in that race. So yeah, spin on the exit of Stowe didn't help him, but down to 5th place. Pierre Gasly quietly getting on with it today. I said earlier, tidy drive, 6th place, really decent result for him. Great qualifying yesterday. Lance Stroll, look, you know, he was running 3rd at one point. He ended up 7th, but that still is a gain of 10 places, even if you take into account all 5 retirements, which you wouldn't anyway because he wasn't behind them all, but that's still a gain of 5 places, so it's not a bad result at all for Stroll. Great stuff from Albon as well, into P5 for 8th place, and Fernando Alonso in 9th place for Aston Martin. I think that now puts Stroll clear of Alonso again in the point scoring, which is interesting. George Russell, one of those that pitted under the formation lap, maybe with the benefit of hindsight, the wrong call, but, you know, you've got to roll the dice when you're in those positions, haven't you? Not 2 hours later. 10th place for him. Ollie Bearman, 1.4 seconds behind, not far off a point, given that he started well down the grid as well in 18th place. Carlos Sainz, 12th. Esteban Ocon, 13th. Charles Leclerc, 14th place. Yeah, and 15th for Yuki Tsunoda, who was the only driver to be lapped and was 39.4 seconds behind the car ahead, and he made the same number of pit stops pretty much as everyone else. I suspect we're going to hear something to do with damage on that car, given the contact he had with Bearman maybe, but that's even in that car. That Red Bull is a bad car. That second Red Bull is not a very good car at all. We know that. I'm going to keep saying the point. However, is it 39 seconds slower than a Ferrari, 32 off a Haas? Make your own minds upon that. Let's see what the team say. There might be some damage, we don't know. Antonelli 16th, Hadjar 17th, Bortoletto 18th, Lawson 19th, and Colapinto 20th. They all retired, so they won't be classified in them positions. I'm just reading them on the timing tower. So Antonelli was hit by Hadjar. Very late seeing the Mercedes was Isack, and then went into the back of McColl's. Big accident for him. Anthony retired with damage in the end as well. Did go a few more laps after that, to be fair. Bortoletto, he crashed out. Lawson, he was collected by Ocon in the first lap incident, and that's all it was. Colapinto retired in the pit lane, having not even started, really. So that is your running order. So get your questions in. We're watching Nico Hulkenberg in the cool-down room. This is going to be fun. I'm surprised he found his way there, to be honest, but there you go. A lot of you in chat points out Oscar Piastri not happy at all. Yeah. That bad car put it on pole. They set the car up. That's what I set it up wrong, says Chiori. Yeah, but we know that the second Red Bull is not as good as the first Red Bull because that's built towards Verstappen. I know what you're saying. I'm not arguing with you, but yeah, that's why there's a difference there. But it's not. I don't set up wrong or not. Even on Yuki Tsunoda's car, that's a huge deficit. That's big. I mean, he's what, 23 seconds off his teammate, which actually, to be fair, 23 seconds off his teammate is probably where he's been most of the season. So there you go. Weird. The decision document is out for Piastri. Let's go read that one then. That's a great shout. Thank you very much for that. Let's go to the FIA. Don't need to go to the weather, but thanks anyway. So decision, car 81. Let's have a look at what they are saying here. That's going to be in a really awkward place for me now, isn't it? Yep, thought it would be. So let's get rid of you. Close all tabs, please. I'm talking to myself as I go. We want document 39, don't we? So there we go. Let's see what they decided in the steward's room for Piastri. I'll read some of it. So when the clerk of the course had declared that the safety car was coming in that lap and the lights were extinguished, Oscar Piastri suddenly brakes hard, 59.2 psi of brake pressure, and reduced speed in the middle of the straight between turns 14 and 15. That's the hanger straight, from 218 kilometers an hour to 52 kilometers an hour. That resulted in car 1, that's Max Verstappen, having to take evasive action to avoid a collision. This momentarily resulted in Verstappen unavoidably overtaking car 81, a position which he gave back immediately. Here we go. Article 55.15 of the FIA sporting regulations. If you've not read them, give them a read. They are thrilling. They state that car 81 is to proceed at a pace which involved no erratic braking nor any other manoeuvre which is likely to endanger other drivers from the point at which the lights on the safety car are turned off. What Piastri did was clearly a breach of that article, and in accordance with the penalty guidelines, we imposed a 10-second time penalty to car 81. Competitors are reminded they have the right to appeal certain decisions of the stewards in accordance with Article 15 of the FIA International Sporting Code, but I don't think you can do it for race ones. But I'm not going to sit and read the sporting code because I can't be bothered. So that's there your key points then. 59.2 psi of brake pressure, dropping from 218 kph to 52 kph. So what do we think, chap? It sounds like a bit of a 10 seconds does seem a lot, but it does feel like a a fair cop, unless I'm misunderstanding the document altogether. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Big cheers for Nico Hulkenberg. We'll talk about Oscar Piastri in a minute. Forget McLaren. This is the story of the day. If you're a McLaren fan, enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, this is where we care about. Hulkenberg on the podium. Big cheers from everybody, as you'd expect. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming, is what Nico Hulkenberg said. Yeah. But he's up there. He's so tall as well, isn't he? And now we're going to see how tall he is, because here comes Lando Norris. Oscar Piastri's up there. Lando Norris probably going to get a huge cheer. Yeah, a couple of people cheering for him. Yeah, not too many. Just a couple of 100,000 maybe. I don't know. But he has won his home Grand Prix. Who's up there with him? It's not really Zach Brown, is it? No. But there we go. Nico Hulkenberg is as tall as Lando Norris from the third step of the podium, and Norris is on the first step, at least for this angle anyway. So there you go. He's a tall guy, is Nico Hulkenberg, and there you go. Oh, it's a good moment for Nico. I can't get over it. I just can't. We've talked on these streams so many times about the idea of a Hulkenberg podium. We've all laughed it off as never going to happen, and here we are. Is that Farina's car from Silverstone 1950 in front of the podium there? It's a very beautiful car. There you go. Yeah. I'm going to watch the podium. We'll watch the podium together. Then I'm going to come to your questions and your comments, because there's a couple of good points in there, actually, about how Piastri didn't need to do that at all today. Verstappen didn't have the pace to challenge them. So that's Lisa Nandy, the Secretary for State for Culture, Media and Sport, if you cared. Surprised it's not Brad Pitt or Keanu Reeves, to be honest, given the last few weeks of hype around this bloody movie. Not that Keanu Reeves is in it, but, you know. Mohammed Ben Sulayem, who, of course, was taking a step back from the forefront of Formula One, wants to get up on the podium to give the Lego trophy to Lando. He'll love that. Lando Norris will, the Lego trophy. Break it. No, he didn't. That's a shame. And a medal as well, because, you know, why not? How many of those medals go on eBay? I can't wear a McLaren shirt and Nushka. I look horrific. I mean, I look horrific anyway, but I look really bad in orange. Oh, sorry, papaya. Yeah, it don't work. You think I look like Rob Marshall before? You wait to see me in McLaren gear. Although it might jinx him. Maybe we'll make it interesting. If I wore McLaren one today, would Hulkenberg have won? That's the question. I've ruined everybody else's weekend, haven't I? Ferrari and Verstappen, so I might as well ruin theirs as well. Hulk's first ever trophy is made of Lego, says John. Here we go. I want to hear the crowd here. This could be quite good. Oh, huge cheers. The crowd know Nico Hulkenberg lifts his Lego trophy aloft. Go on, lift it. It's fine. It won't break. It'll be fine. It won't break. Honest. He doesn't dare quite lift that, does he? There you go. Apparently the first German on the podium since Seb Vettel in 2021, Crofty said. But there we go. Oscar Piastri not too keen on spraying the champagne today. Maybe he'll feel that's one that got away. His mistake, though, at the end of the day. And Nico Hulkenberg will be very happy to be spraying that, I'm sure. I will say, actually, you know, we're all guilty of it, going in on Lando Norris when he makes a mistake. So, you know, Oscar Piastri's going to be annoyed, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are pissed off at the FIA, but ultimately, reading that document, it seems like a fair cop to me, and he made the mistake. It was his error. Who were you? Is it Jean or Jean? I'm going to say Jean, because it's Jean Pepin. It's a great name. It says Piastri didn't have to do that. Red Bull had no pace today. He made the mistake, didn't he? And again, Kevin Magnussen was the lucky charm for Nico Hulkenberg this weekend. Thank you, Joe, for the super chat. Says, I nearly missed this race. I've got the flu. Glad I didn't. Nico, penalty was fair on... Oh, sorry, Nico. Penalty was fair on Piastri. But main story is Hulkenberg won a race, and what a result. Two things. Absolutely, Nico. Well done to Nico Hulkenberg. Secondly, I hope you feel better soon, mate. I know the flu sucks, doesn't it? So I hope you're feeling better soon, Joe. I've got to sound like a mother now. Plenty of fluids and rest, and you'll be fine. Hope you're feeling better soon, mate. Flu sucks. So, glad you didn't miss the race. So, something to cheer you up when you're feeling a bit low. But yeah, Lando of course gets 2 trophies at Silverstone, or the winner does, not Lando specifically. He gets the Silverstone trophy, and then he gets the Lego one, but he doesn't. I don't think he gets to take the Silverstone one home. So, he'll have to make up with his crappy Lego one. Wouldn't it be just sod's law if Nico Hulkenberg had lifted that trophy aloft and it just snapped, and then he got a penalty for breaking the trophy? There you go. It was his error at the end of the day for Piastri. But championship standings, we always like to do these, don't we, now they've reset. It's brought Norris much closer, but, Piastri still has the lead. 234 points, placed 226. It's much closer than it was a few races ago. Max Verstappen now, 165 points. He'd written himself off for now, but it's getting more and more the case that he's probably out of this. But again, until he's a good chunk further back than that, I'm not writing him off completely. As we saw yesterday, he can deliver out of nowhere. So Russell, all that promise of a potential dark horse title charge has gone. 1 point today, 147 in total. Leclerc 119. Hamilton's 12 today, moves up to 103. Antonelli has 63. He is a rookie, but that's a big gap to his teammate, isn't it? So, usual rookie caveats, but yeah, he might need to step it up. Albon, 4 points, 46 for him. Hulkenberg moves up to 9th with 15 points to a total of 37. If you're just tuning in, yes, Nico Hulkenberg was on the podium. We all watched it and we can't quite believe it. There we go. And I will keep saying it. I don't care if it annoys people that keep banging on about it. So, tough. Esteban Ocon, no points, but stays 10th on 23. Hadjar, no points, stays 11th on 21. It's now 20 points for Lance Stroll in 12th, 19th for Gasly, 19th for Gasly in 13th, who leaps up 3 places. Fernando Alonso drops 1 to 14 on 16, 4 of his teammate. Sainz and Lawson also drop 1, 13 for Sainz, 12 for Lawson, 10 for Tsunoda, 6 for Bearman, 4 for Bortoletto, and Franco Colapinto. Was it his last race in an Alpine? Who cares? We'll find out. No points for him, so hopefully not. Hopefully he can get a point in. Actually, I'll tell you what. Colapinto does Spa, nabs a point. They give Doohan a run in Hungary, he nabs a point. Everything's sorted, then everyone's got a point. Done. McLaren, 460 points in the Constructors' Championship. Second place is Ferrari on 222. So 460, place 222. I'm going to say this as tongue-in-cheek as I can, chat. Can anyone catch McLaren? Mercedes third on 210. The answer is no, and I've lost my championship points now, so you're just going to have to take my word for it that Sauber are much higher than they were 10 minutes ago. Let me go and see if I find the table. It's just disappeared from there for some reason, so I've now lost it. So I'm pretty sure. Can anyone catch McLaren? Yes, sure, of course they can. Who knows? 210 for Mercedes, 172 for Red Bull, 59 for Williams in 5th place. Sauber do indeed jump up to 6th place on 41 points. That could be massive for them, although they're going to have to keep this run up, I think, to deal with Racing Bulls potentially coming back strong. 36 points for Racing Bulls, 36 as well for Aston Martin. Haas have 29 and Alpine have 19. So there we go. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'll take your comments and questions then. Let's do that, and then we'll round up for today. But I can't. Oh, yeah. What a moment. CPB says the constructors was months ago. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's probably done before the season started, really, wasn't it? Given how they looked after testing. I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going to happen here. Long old way to go this season, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch this battle with McLaren. It's closing in again. These next 2 races, which start in 3 weeks' time, because we're having a mini summer break before the summer break for unexplained reasons. Maybe you now need a visa to get from Silverstone to Spa. I don't know. You don't. But we've got a long wait now until the next race, 3 whole weeks. These next 2 are critical. If Norris wins both of those, he's got the momentum going into the summer break. And if we go back, and I'm not comparing the 2, please do not think I'm comparing Lando Norris to Lewis Hamilton, for God's sake, because I am not. But if we go back to some of these seasons in the past where Vettel's been challenging Hamilton or somebody else been in the mix, Lewis would go on a run from sort of Belgium, Hungary, and then come back after the summer break and just absolutely smash it for the rest of the season. Norris could do something similar himself. So these next 2 races are huge for the championship. Oscar needs to stop this run. Easier said than done. Could have done it today. I still think we would have got a fight between the two of them because their pace was changing as the race sort of dried out a little bit. But I think that these next 2 are massive, and Piastri's he's got to stop this run. He has to stop this run, and he needs to do it pretty much immediately at Spa. That's going to be a fun race, and I hope that we get a little bit more battling between the two of them, like we saw in those first few laps in Austria. I want more of that through the rest of this season to at least make it interesting. I don't want one of them to run away with it, because if we're going to have an inter-team battle, we may as well have both of them battling. We want Hamilton, Rosberg. We don't want, with all due respect to Bottas, Hamilton-Bottas, or Schumacher-Barrichello. We want a proper inter-team fight. So come on, McLaren. Let's make sure they do that. And come on, lads. Hopefully we can have a good end to the season. A good end to the season. But, yeah, that's my take. You never know. Piastri, look, the key thing is Piastri still leads the championship. So, yeah. Pascal is cashing in the next National Lotto numbers. I think Pascal's been very, very happy with that one. I'm going to try and find out what Pascal said, because he's got some of you laughing somewhere, I think. I don't know. But, yeah. We've not seen Pascal. That's why we're talking about Pascal. We summon thee unless you're already passed out drunk, says Red Raven. Fud says, I think this will be the moment where Piastri turns from being the jovial, nice guy to being 100% him. 8 points between them. Can't swing next weekend because we don't have the fast start point anymore, but could move within a point, Norris, not next weekend, next race, sorry. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see... I like how cool and calm Oscar is, but I'd like to see a bit more bite if it gets tense and tight. So this could be fun. It could be a fun few months. Could be. Might not be. Piastri probably won't get a good sleep today. Probably not, no. Maybe just give Pascal some space and processing time. It's a big day. Very true, Boom Spoon. He'll be here when he's ready. I don't know why, but all of a sudden the pollen season got... It hasn't. It's just my hay fever is so ridiculous. I can hear 2 dogs barking. They're going mad downstairs at something. Probably fighting again. They are... I'm just having a quick look. Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're fighting, but it's quite funny, really. Piastri on the radio from earlier. What did he say? Tolbo's engineer, it was unlucky. Knows how he feels about it. I think I'll get myself banned for the year if I say anything here, is what Piastri said. So he thinks it was bullshit. I'll read it again. I mean, 59.2 psi of brake pressure, dropping from 218 kilometers an hour to 52 kilometers an hour. I mean, that's a big stop. I can get his anger. I know why he's angry. Potential win out the window, but you can't do that. But we want to see it, Ruthless Oscar. Great word, Annette. Again, you're on fire today, Annette. Not literally, or I hope not. Anyway, but yeah, ruthless is a great word. That's what we want to see. Anushka said the same. He was quite ruthless in F2. So now's the time to get the elbows out if he needs to. So I think this is where it's from here now where Zach Brown is going to have problems. I think. Let's see if he can cope with it. Let's see if he can cope with it. Joe says you can't slow down 160 on the straights. Exactly. So, yeah. 13th British driver to win the British Grand Prix is Lando Norris. That's an omen. Oh dear, it's all going to fall apart for him now. Number 13. Yeah, get your questions in. Let's read. I've been waffling for ages. Let's see what you guys are saying in chat, and then we'll wrap up for the weekend. And actually, the final stream until that was a noise. 26th of July. You've got 2 weeks of YouTube filler coming up. I hope you're ready for it. I know Sam's got some interesting shorts for you. I think short videos, not his shorts. Got one on the Euros. I think a little Euro series he's doing. So that could be interesting for you. So one to keep an eye out for. We're trying some new things in shorts. A lot of you seem to be quite open to us experimenting with the short form videos, but a lot of people don't like us experimenting with the long form. So, but as I've said before, tough. I will reiterate it for anyone who is here who doesn't like having other voice on the channel. I will make the point again. The options in front of me were do something different and get into a partnership or a buyout or something like that, which is what happened last summer. Or I said goodbye at the end of the race reaction for Abu Dhabi last year, and that was it. So I'm still here. We've just got a few other people getting involved, and the options were no me whatsoever or me with a few other people involved. So that's not a threat. That's just what the situation was. So, and I know I'm going to have at least one person say it, I'm sure, in a message later saying, remember, silent majority, not vocal minority. There you go. At least for the next few weeks, he can clear his mind. Aussie star, maybe hang out with Danny Rick and come back stronger next year. On the Fosters, maybe. I don't know. In terms of podiums for Lewis Hamilton this season, was this the one that got away for him? Do you know what? I don't know, CPB, because Hulkenberg had the pace, which was what surprised me. There was a point where Hamilton was sort of a second behind, wasn't he? And it looked pretty much inevitable that he was going to get through. And then he suddenly dropped back by another half a second, then a couple of seconds, and it was quite clear that Hulkenberg, he'd stepped up the pace. Hamilton was maybe struggling on the inters on that drying track. And then he pitted for the softs, and it again looked like, after Hulkenberg had pitted, we're all screaming, no, Hulkenberg, don't do it. And then Hamilton started coming back at it, but then the softs fell away. And I don't think so. I think Hulkenberg actually, yeah, I know there were some early pit stops on the formation lap. I know we had quite a few retirements and a lot of safety cars in chaos, but I feel like Hulkenberg earned that today. There was an element of luck, but I don't think it was all luck from Hulkenberg today. We aren't looking at an 8-car finish. There were still 15 cars over the line, and he did pick up the pace when he had the pace when he needed to have the pace versus Hamilton. So, all things equal, no rain. He doesn't finish third today, does he? We know that, but so there is definitely an element of luck in there. But I think he earned that today. It's not a fluke. Won't have another stream till I'm 21. Weird to think about. We'll miss the streams. Can't wait for the filler and inevitable tyre talk transitions, says Joe. 21. Well, happy birthday, whenever that is, Joe. I hope you got rid of the flu by then. That'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it? But have a good one for your 21st. And yeah, I might try and squeeze a midweek stream in somewhere. It's just obviously I'm involved in every bit of the process with content. So although it's not my voice 7 days a week, I'm involved in that process 7 days a week. So it is pretty busy. So I'll try. If not, then I can't promise anything. But I will try my best. Got a few weeks. So yeah, get rid of that flu. There you go. Get rid of it and you'll be fine. Loads of time. Are you going to do an update on the curious case of Nico Hulkenberg, says Annette. Probably not. But if you haven't watched that video, go and watch it. There you go. Give it some love. It's one of my favourite videos I ever did. It wasn't the best performing. It was one of the better ones, but it wasn't the best performing. The best one was the Lewis Hamilton one, which did 1.6 million and still gives me grief to this day. But yeah, that was a good video to make. So yeah, Sighted Cover says Lewis couldn't catch him. Agree. Like I say, the pace, Hulkenberg had the pace when he needed to have the pace, and that was the key today. So I think he earned that. Not all luck. They have the same engines. Don't forget, says Clansom. Yeah, good shout. Sauber and the Ferrari power, of course. So yeah, I'll be 40 when you stream next. Not looking forward to that. Oh, I've got March. March is when I'm 40, so I've got a little way to go yet. But yeah, we can cry together over the winter Sighted Canvas. Well, just a Sean and Sighted Canvas stream. We'll just sit here and cry about life for an hour. Why not? I am just going to pause the stream. Well, not pause the stream. I'm just going to go disappear for a second. I just need to go blow my nose. Sorry, I've got a hay fever, but I'll be back in a sec. You don't need to see that. That's a little bit better. I didn't want to sit on stream doing that because then it looks like I've done something else off stream and not squash. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 40. It's fine. And that was the video that got me hooked, was the Nico Hulkenberg one. I love that video. I love the title as well. It's just such a good title. I'm not very good with titles these days, but I used to nail them. So maybe that's the content we go back to. There you go. Neela says, can we cover Hulkenberg's pit strategy in detail? I don't remember when he first pitted. Hang on a minute. I'll tell you what we can do. I'll check Pirelli first. But what we could do is I could actually put the... we're not going to sit and do a whole of the race, but we could actually sit and put the live timing back to where the pit stops were and work out what was going on from there. But it might be a bit of a faff. There's nothing from Pirelli yet, so I'm not sure when he stopped. If anyone knows for sure, let us know. But I could go back and rewind it, but it seems like a bit of an effort for a 10-minute wrap up, doesn't it? But yeah, there's no. I'll tell you what I could do actually. Wait a sec. Sean's had an epiphany. He can't have an epiphany, can he? Let's have a look. No, I can't. So I will have to. I'll tell you what. If you are just tuning in, the race is not still going on. Don't worry. I'm just going to go back to the replay of the live timing and see what we could do here. That'll go funky. There we go. Ignore all that. It's irrelevant right now. It's. Let's have a look. So I'll try and fast forward to the end of the race. There we go. That should all be good. Might take a second to catch up and then go and check the tyres and all of that business. If not, then I can't tell you. In fact, I think I've just crashed it, which was really smart of me. He pitted for softs early and back to inters. Yeah, I lost all the data. There we go. So that's where we were. So Nico off the Hulkenberg. He started on the inters, did 9 laps on those inters, and then pitted for mediums. So pitted for another set of inters, did 33 laps on those, and then did 10 laps on the inters. So pitted on lap 9, and then went 33 laps, and then went 10 to the end on the mediums. So, yeah, that's correct, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah. So 9 laps was his first stop. Just so you know. I said I got an answer. I got an answer in the end, Neelish. I got an answer in the end. It might not be exactly what we're looking for, but that was his strategy. The strategy I thought was the winner was not the race winner, but the winning one today for best strategy was going to be Aston Martin with Stroll. Again, pitted on lap 6, stuck the softs on for 4 whole laps, including his pit lap. Absolutely smashed it that time. If you remember on the timing tower, Stroll was just jumping up it almost every lap, it seemed, on those soft tyres. Got himself nice and high up to about 5th or 6th place, then put the inters on and kept going again on those fresher tyres, and then it all kind of fell apart at the end, which was a shame. I think the soft tyre was a mistake for him there. Maybe I was saying softs might be the way to go, but maybe he's thinking back to his earlier in the race, it was the right way to go, but yeah. Not quite. So there we go. Well, that's your strategy. I look at that was the one I thought was going to be the big one, but Hulkenberg's worked a treat, didn't it? And maybe people saying the podium that got away for Hamilton. Maybe the softs were the mistake. Maybe. Stroll just has no pace for that insane advantage strategy. Only 5 ahead of Alonso, who had bad strategy to start and dropped it. That's a good shout, actually. Yeah, what was the gap? Yeah, 3.5, 1.7. Yes, it's 5 seconds just over, isn't it? 5.2. That's a good point, yeah. Yeah. He did pit 3 times, though, Stroll, to be fair. So that will account for quite a bit of that chunk to Alonso, but yeah. Aston strategies are insane. Audi to a Brawn next year? Question mark. Lol, says CPB. You never know. We never thought Brawn would do it, but they did. In fact, if I could... with my sports almanac, go back to January 2009, I think it would have been, and put a bet on a team that didn't even exist and a driver who wasn't even in a race seat to win the World Championship. Think of the money I'd make. And then I'd go and bet on Leicester City. Or I could just do lottery numbers and save myself the effort. But anyway, Albon on a very average strategy, almost passed him, says Nilesh. Yeah, 3.5 the gap. Again, but Stroll did have the extra stop. Safety cars might not make that. Yeah, I don't know. Joe's off. Go and have a nap, mate. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if you can. And we'll see you. If not before, mate, we'll see you for the Belgian Grand Prix watch-alongs. And happy birthday. Happy 21st. Have a good one. Don't get too drunk. Back on the podium after 13 years, says Pascal. Had a hunch we could improve with Nico back at Sauber. First half of the season done, a podium and 41 points. There you go. Pascal's here. Pascal's put the pint down. He's calmed down a little bit. And he's here and very excited. So lots of love for Pascal, please, in the chat. He is our resident Sauber expert and fan. So always backing him for points, and that's a massive result today. So very happy, I'm sure. We're all happy for him. All emotional, I think, in chat at times. So there you go. And Stuart says, is Sauber in the fight for 5th if they keep up this form? I have to say, yes. I mean, Williams have really struggled in recent weeks, haven't they? I mean, they got up to 59, 54, 55 points, and we all thought, wow, these guys they're flying here. And I couldn't believe it when Albon was on as many points as he was. But the last few races, they've really dropped off. And if Sauber keep doing this and Williams continue to flounder, I guess is the word I'm going to use, there's a great shot at 5th place today. I'm not getting too carried away, but it's not just about today. Like I said, this is their 4th decent point scoring weekend in a row, and they are good points every weekend. Was it 5th in Spain? So Sauber looking good, and maybe Nico Hulkenberg is a difference, like Pascal says. Maybe bringing that guy in there with that experience, and we know how good Hulkenberg is as a racer. Maybe that has made a difference there. But it'd be great to see Sauber go out with a bang in what is their final year. We assume as Sauber. I think they are just going to be Audi. They'll be Audi Sauber next year. I think they will just be Audi. It's not going to be a BMW situation. We'll see. They'll announce all that at the end of the season. But yeah. Be good to see them go out with a bang. And I think if that's the last podium that team get, the perfect way to do it is with Nico Hulkenberg getting it, isn't it? So it would be very Hulkenberg if Bortoletto had been the first one to do it for Sauber since 2012, and Hulkenberg never got one, wouldn't it? But there you go. But yeah, definitely enjoy it, Pascal. It's been incredible. Well deserved. Also, with regards to the Stroll pace comments, Roll's eye. Stroll's also made a borderline softs in wet weather strategy work earlier. Can we at least give credit when and where it's due? I completely agree, Red Raven. I think I gave him that in the race, and I've given it since. And as I said there, have to remember as well, 25 seconds for a pit stop. He made that stop. A third stop he only made. Everyone else only made 2. So I know safety cars maybe rule some of that out, but he still made an extra stop. And that middle stint, that 4 laps on the softs, was maybe this is a bit, is hyperbolic the right phrase? I don't know. Maybe this is a bit over the top, given that it is just one race and it's, a bit of recency bias. But that feels like one of the best strategy calls, wet to dry and dry to wet, that we've seen for a while in F1, even though it only resulted in 7th place in the end. The laps he was putting in fact, I'll tell you what. Let's go back. I could have like go back in time. There we go. We're at the start of the race. Let's go find Lance Stroll, shall we? What he was doing. Ignore all the flashing. Let's go have a look. Red Raven wants to give him some prayer. I think we should. I think he's right. So, Stroll pitted. There you go. Virtual safety car ending. So, pitted onto the soft tyre on what was lap 7. I love this feature, by the way, on multi-viewer. His first lap out the pits we won't count. So, his second lap out the pits... There it is. He did the fastest lap of the race at that point, a 1:43.3. The leaders, 1:44.1, 1:45.8, and 1:44.8. So he was considerably quicker than the leaders in an Aston Martin. He then look, he just fly up the tower there. Straight past Ocon, straight past Hulkenberg. Continued to climb. Then up to 8, past Albon. And then I think it was about here where the rain started to fall, wasn't it? So he pitted again. Dropped it, but look at his pace in there. He's on the lead pace. You're right. That middle stint is brilliant. It's just a shame it wasn't. 7th place doesn't look great, but you have to remember as well as we go back to the end of the race here, that was 7th place, having started well down the grid. Where was he in the end? It's going to tell you. He gained 10 places. So, I mean, 10 places is still a great achievement. So, look, Red Raven, you know as well as I do, and a lot of you in chat would know as well, if that was Carlos Sainz or Alex Albon or Ollie Bearman or Pierre Gasly or Isack Hadjar, everyone will be waxing lyrical about it. But it's Lance Stroll, so we have to hate on him because it's Lance Stroll, because that's how we work as a fan base, I think, for some reason. There you go. I'll be even more blunt. Changeable, borderline dry wet conditions is the one thing Stroll is good at. Oh, you preach to the converted on Stroll in slippery conditions. Jonty and I did this years ago. We said the one thing he was good at was, well, many things he's good at, I'm sure, but the one thing he's really good at is wet, slippery, very Jensen Button in that way, in a way. People won't like that comparison, but very good on that borderline, like you say. Colder tyres. It's why, it'd be why he got pole in Turkey. It's why he I wouldn't say had that race in the bag, but had a lot of control over that race until they made that pit stop, which turned out to be a mistake, of course, at Force India, or Racing Point as they were then. So we know what he can do. You're absolutely preaching to the converted. I think I suspect Red Raver's point is more aimed at the people in chat that maybe just don't want to give him the credit. We're talking to kids apparently in the crowd for some reason. Yeah. But yeah, fair play. There you go. That'll do for that one. Any more points and questions you want me to? I could go over that. I could keep. Now I've got this open. We can scrub back wherever you want to, but we'll try and keep it brief. We'll maybe do a couple more minutes and then we'll wrap it up for today. Getting a bit warm in here actually. So, just a reminder: if you are disappearing, by the way, please do drop a like and subscribe as well if you're new. And don't forget, Thomas will be with you tomorrow with a wrap up of the weekend. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about Nico Hulkenberg and probably quite a bit about what happened at McLaren. So keep an eye for that. That'll be out around lunchtime, I think, tomorrow. I'll either edit that tonight or I'll edit it first thing in the morning. Probably first thing in the morning now because we've got the dogs to go sort out. But yeah. Was it stalling, Neelish, that got Colapinto? Neelish says Colapinto, shout out to Colapinto for stalling. Alpine said it was an issue with the car. So I don't know if I've missed something. Maybe. Because I don't get, unfortunately I haven't got F1 TV here. I do keep thinking about getting a VPN, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's anything on stalling or a problem or what. So I've not seen, so I can't really comment on that too much. Colapinto's frustration after not being able to start Silverstone. Driver expresses sadness while Alpine investigates the reasons for the technical failures. Plural. The technical failure in qualifying was that he crashed, but yeah, I'm not sure. Well, it's from a Colapinto fan page, so that's probably why. Think about it, Sean. Look at the name. Look at the name. If it's got LN4 or LH44 or Frank FC, whatever his number is, then probably just ignore what they're saying and look for reputable people. Yeah. You can't. It's a bit like asking me to slag off Michael Schumacher. It ain't gonna happen. It's as simple as that. Acknowledge that he was a naughty driver, but you're never gonna get me slagging him off ever. Because as I've said before, I'm filling, yes, but as I've said before, I'd take a grid full of Schumachers and Verstappens and Sennas over some of the personalities we've had over the years. Nino says someone else says stalling. So yeah, I had a look, but I'm not sure if there's anything official on that. All they said at the moment was the talk to Piastri, sorry, in the pen, but yeah. I forgot what I was going to say now. Ferrari is so fixated on getting Leclerc on the podium that Lewis can't get a podium in the races, says Lancelot Wilson. He could have done today, just didn't really click because Hulkenberg is a beast. That's the answer we're going with anyway. Pascal says NH27, so you're going to change your name now, and I'll have to ignore you for now. Pascal, sorry. No, not interested. So what exactly happened with Piastri penalty? Was it fair? At first I thought he started braking when the safety car lights were still on, but now I'm not sure what happened there, says, is it Kiefer? We think it's fair. It's a bit of a cop. It's a bit of a fair cop here. So I'll read the reasons again. I'll not read the whole thing because it's a bit long-winded, or long-winded enough. But he brakes hard after the lights on the safety car went out, applied 59.2 psi of brake pressure, and reduced his speed in the middle of the Hangar Straight from 218 kilometers an hour to 52. That's a massive, massive difference. That resulted in Verstappen having to avoid him, of course, to stop any kind of collision. And obviously that then forced Verstappen to overtake, even though it wasn't really an overtake. He had no choice. He gave it back straight away. So they said that in accordance with Article 15.15, they have given him a 10-second penalty. So that Article 15.15 says that the leader is required to proceed at a pace which involved no erratic braking or any other manoeuvre which is likely to endanger any other driver from the point at which the lights on the safety car are turned off. So the lights went out, slammed the brakes on too hard, way too hard, and it's a slam dunk by the regulations. It's a shame for him. I think it's a shame for us because again, for the fifth time at least, I think looking at Norris's pace in the second phase of that race, and also the bit he was closing up every lap or ebbing and flowing a bit, I think we'd have had a great fight between those two. So I think we were kind of a little bit robbed there as fans. But that's on Oscar. He shouldn't have done it. It's his mistake, and he deserves to be penalised for that, and I think deserves some criticism for that. If Norris had done that, people would be going mad for it, and that's coming from me, for goodness sake. So very much Piastri for the win kind of guy. mainly because I think part of it is I want to see a net explode if he wins the World Championship. That's probably most of it there. So they probably should have given Piastri a gentle warning for the first safety car, says Nilesh. If he did it the first one, yeah, they could have done. Just be careful at that point. But he slammed the brakes on too hard. Always going to happen. What exactly is the line between erratic and not erratic? Not defending. I'm just curious as Dirk. That's a question for the stewards, Dirk. And if you get an answer, mate, good luck, because I don't think they know, to be honest. Would they have let that slide for if it was dry? Probably not. But it maybe track conditions play a part in the decision making. I think Russell's in Canada was borderline, and Piastri's was harder here. So maybe that's the line between erratic and not erratic. I can't answer it, Dirk. I honestly can't. I said it when we were live in the when the race was on. If you're trying to second guess what the FIA decide, maybe not. But yeah. Sarah says 150 kilometers an hour deceleration is erratic, I reckon. I like the I reckon at the end of that. I don't know why, Sarah, just do. I really like the I reckon. In a road car, if you brake from 255 on a highway, it's a big difference to everyone else around you, and it's dangerous. Just to confirm, Dirk wasn't defending him, just to be clear. Just trying to work out where the line is, but we only just got the driving racing guidelines, didn't we? So who knows? We might find this out in 30 years. We might have an answer. I don't know. But yeah, let me know if you know. Track conditions must be the I can't even read that. Delineated factor. I can't even read that. I'm so sorry, Kaori. It's near the end of the stream and I'm melting slowly. So, Pascal, you lie. That's the second stat that's made me pause on stream. Pascal says, fun fact, it's the 27th podium for Sauber today, and that was scored by Nico Hulkenberg in car 27. You lie. I don't believe you. Really? I do believe you, but I have to go check it now. I have to go check it. Now, which Sauber? Are we including the days of... Well, I've got 28 here. And this is where the debate starts. Do we count the BMW Sauber days? Some people do. Some people really do not. I've got 8. 28. I might be wrong. But I can only go off what's on Wikipedia. Because it's the best site for it. The team won its only race as BMW Sauber. The total tally includes 17 podiums achieved as BMW Sauber. So I guess it depends. But do you know what? Even if we're wrong a little bit, I don't care. That's a great stat. Even if it's not real, it's still a great stat. I probably counted you wrong, though. So, I don't know, CPB. I do, because they were still BMW Sauber. Clues in the name. But a lot of people don't count it because... Yeah, but I don't know what. Do you know? I actually don't know why they don't count it. I guess because it was owned by a big manufacturer and not Peter Sauber anymore. But it's still the Sauber team, so same people, same base, same everything. It's still Sauber, so I count it. But yeah, Sarah says people be weird. It's basically it. Yeah, I don't know why. Just people are odd. So I don't know. I might be wrong. Jonty says Nico. I don't know if he's fallen over or if he's just very happy for Nico Hulkenberg. Yeah, just a little bit. I think not ashamed to say. I am ashamed to say. There was a tear in my eye as I called him over the line. A few others in chat as well. So quite an emotion. I can remember we've had a few streams, haven't we, where we've talked about him never getting a podium because he's never going to be that lucky. Yeah, we will. Yeah, quite a moment. And if that's his last ever one, then he's done it a good time. I really, I hope that stat's true, Pascal, because he was 27.9 seconds off second place. So there you go. It's all about the number 27. I didn't, John, so I'll check it in a bit, mate. I'm wrapping the stream up in a second, so I will check that in a moment. But yeah, with Sauber's current momentum and Aston Martin improving, could Williams drop to 7th? Well, we've said that Sauber could be in the fight for 5th here if Williams keep dropping off, as you say, and Sauber keep their form up. So, and I think Racing Bulls have got a good car. It's not a simple car. These cars are not simple, but it seems to be a nicely balanced car and a very drivable car, unlike that second Red Bull. So I think Racing Bulls have got a lot more points on the table this season. Hadjar very unlucky today. Lawson caught up in that first lap accident. these things happen. Yeah, I think Williams could struggle, but seventh isn't horrific. I mean, maybe it is from fifth to seventh is bad, but start of the season, Williams might have taken seventh place. It might not be the end of the world for them, but they could be in trouble. They could be in trouble. I'll tell you what. Couple more comments and then we will wrap up today. Pascal says I cried and I don't feel embarrassed about that. You shouldn't do. That's your team and they've done it. I mean, I'm not, I was a lot younger then, I suppose, but I cried in '98 when Schumacher got his puncture at Suzuka. I cried when he won the title in 2000. Lot of emotion in Formula One, so there you go. I'm sceptical of Aston Martin, but Red Bull RB is a bigger threat. Sauber's upgrade is working well. Aston Martin was the other one that was mentioned by CPB. Actually, to be fair, I can't work them out. Aston Martin. Williams could end up 8th if Aston do pick it up. I mean, Racing Bulls and Aston are tied on points, so yeah, they've had a really bad few weeks, haven't they, Williams? So hopefully they can get back to that early season form. But they're not going to work on this year's car, are they? So yeah, with beer not available for country adequate celebrations, do you think gin works as well? Says Red Raven. Does it have alcohol in it? If so, drink it. Which is not a great way to live your life, I'll be honest. I'm going to have some red wine again tonight because, I'm one of them guys now. Anything else you want me to talk about before we wrap up today? And then I'm going to end the stream there. I just said end it, but that's a bit dramatic. So, yeah, end the stream after. Get a bit warm and I'm ready to go get something to eat now because it's 20 to 6 in the UK. So it's dinner time or tea time if you're from north. Yeah. People be weird. It's that I reckon that Sarah put that got me. I don't know why I just did. It's erratic, I reckon. I think Williams' biggest problem is reliability of whatever keeps failing. I think their pace is all right, says Neelish. Good point. Red Raven says, I only heard the yes, the rest went over my head. There you go, just drink. Just keep drinking, mate. Come back in a bit. Have you talked the 2 Leclerc overtakes, says James? No. And I'll be honest, I don't want to sound awful to one of my drivers, but are you talking about the aggressive ones that he made? If you're referring to those ones, James, then I think they were hard, but just about fair. But I can't remember his other overtakes. So sorry, I remember his spin. That was quite a scary moment. So we will to drive of the day in a sec, actually. Yeah. And was this the best race of 25? Says Keith. I'll be honest, mate. We're a little bit pedantic here when it comes to this. In terms of entertainment, was it one of the best spectacles of the year? Yes. In terms of actual, proper, let's say, tangible racing, maybe not. And I do think we were robbed of that again with the Piastri penalty. I think that was shaping up to be a really interesting final stint of the race. But I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I couldn't keep up with it, so that's got to be a good sign, right? But in terms of wheel-to-wheel racing and action, then probably not. But yeah, it was definitely entertaining to watch. So yeah, so there we go. Who have we got? Yeah, Hamilton did make some good overtakes, Irene. There was one around the outside of Stowe, wasn't there? Was a really nice move. I can't remember who that was on, but yeah, there was some good overtaking out there. But I don't know. I don't think we got started and then it was stop start early on, and then there was a bit, maybe we didn't see as much as was actually going on. The timing tower was definitely active, that's for sure, so maybe we missed some of it. But I always reiterate to anybody who watches this later who's got a lot more info than I have at the time, bear in mind I'm doing this live trying to watch timing, chat, a race. I'm not really paying as much attention as I would be if I was watching on my own, so I might be wrong. It might have been an absolute thriller, but I can only base on the what I'm doing with the timing screen. I spend more time looking at the timing than I do the TV sometimes. So I was watching TV all afternoon, so I suppose that's a good sign as well. Driver of the day then. This is pointless, but I'm going to do it anyway. One surname, chat. It's green behind me. Who's your driver of the day? It's tough. I think I'll go with Nico Hulkenberg. Yeah, that's a really tough one to call. Second place for me. Oh, I've forgotten the name. That's terrible. Aston Martin strategist for that middle stint for Stroll. Third place. There's some really great people out there you could shout out. Do you know what? you're probably all going to disagree, but Pierre Gasly can have third place for me because I think he drove a very nice, tidy race for sixth place in what is, let's face it, a bit of a donkey of a car. So, and his lap yesterday was pretty good as well. So there you go. But yeah, I have to go Hulkenberg. Stroll and his strategist can get on the list as well, though. I'll go to chat. Thinker says Hulkenberg for driver of the day. Lizzie has gone with Hulkenberg. To be fair, farting golf balls makes a great point. Bert Mylander did lead every race he was in, so every lap he was racing. So there you go. He's a good shout. Clansom says Hulkenberg. Sarah says Hulkenberg. Mylander for the jokes and Hulkenberg for real, says CPB. Michael says Hulkenberg. If you pick anyone other than Hulkenberg, I'm banning you from your own channel, says Jonty. So Hulkenberg. Putter Vong says Nico Hulkenberg. Yep. Irene says Hulkenberg. Sighted Canvas says the guy who finished third, who of course is Hulkenberg. Red Raven says Hulkenberg, followed by Stroll and Hamilton. Dirk's gone with Colapinto for driver of the day. He didn't do any driving today, did he? So that's harsh. Clancy says good shout, Re Gasly. Thank you very much. I thought everyone was going to tell me off for that. What about Hamilton? What about Stroll? I said Stroll, didn't I? But the usual lack of extreme wets is annoying. We talked a lot about that, Kiefer, in the stream. To be honest, we weren't, or in the when it was race, it was yeah. Bit surprised not to see them at some point. Bert Mylan deserves to be an option for driver of the day on the app. Says CVV, agree. Leclerc gets spinner of the day for Neelish. Irene goes with Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Gasly in that order. Pascal has said Hulkenberg. Alfie says yuck, Hulkenberg. Max deserves a shout, says fill in the blanks. Probably not. I feel like Hamilton had a good race, just those small mistakes. Yeah, and do you know what, actually? I hate the fact that Phil needs to caveat everything with British drivers, but not to have a go at him. But I think actually that's maybe the story of Lewis Hamilton's weekend in a way. Those little mistakes just costing him in the end, because what would he have done in qualifying without that mistake on his flying lap? He probably would have been higher on the grid. Would that have meant that he would have been ahead of Hulkenberg after it all shaked out? Possibly. You know, maybe the story of his weekend there. I don't know. Lyle says Hulkenberg, Stroll, Gasly, Max and Racing Bulls will all want to forget. Max and Racing Bulls all want to forget today. Hulkenberg, Stroll and Gasly, breathe Sean, will be the driver of the day picks there. Max deserves a shout for spin of the day. That one was beautifully held. No, spin of the day, I disagree. Spin of the day goes to George Russell and the TV director. Because I sat here in the stream and I said, what's George Russell up to? And as soon as I finished that line, it cut to him spinning. And I was like, there you go, spin of the day. Yuki will want to forget this season, to be fair, Lyle, not just today, I think. And Muppet of the day was Piastri, says Sighted Canvas. Rev Raver says bottle of the day, Mercedes, all of them. And Sarah said, Max says shout, we said that one. Russell was spin of the day, says Clansom. And Science undercover agent of the day, says Neelesh. There you go. Yeah, we'll call it there then. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're gonna end the stream for now. I could go all night. I'm riding a bit of a high because of this Hulkenberg podium. And every time I look at the TV, he's there smiling, and it just makes it even better. So I honestly, I said it in the stream. There's nobody I'd be happier for if they got a podium, and he's got it. So he can finally throw that stat in the bin. He's still top of the longest time to get there, but you know, at least he's got one now, and that's all that matters. So he can forget about all those nearly moments. But yeah, very, very happy. First podium there. We said it in the stream. First Sauber podium since Japan 2012, Kamui Kobayashi. So there you go. Great points for the team as well. But that is the weekend done, as Sighted Canvas said. Now, we'll go to the end screen. As I said, I will try and get live again, maybe for a midweek stream between now and Spa, but I can't guarantee it because we've got a lot of content to make for the next 2 weeks, and there's going to be 2 of us working flat, or 3 of us or 4 of us working flat out on it. So maybe I won't get the time to do it. If I can, I will, but I'll let you know. But if not, I will be back with a live stream, of course, for the Belgian Grand Prix in 3 weeks' time, because, you know, why not? Weekend of 26th and 27th. Thomas will be with you tomorrow with a wrap-up from the paddock at Silverstone. Sam has got a couple of shorts then available for you on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be back on Thursday, maybe Wednesday, but probably Thursday, with a longer form video. And that's how it'll be for the next couple of weeks, with shorts and videos. And then, of course, we'll be gearing up for the final doubleheader before the proper official summer break, Belgium and Hungary, which I'm looking forward to both those races. Hungary, a race that has really grown on me in the last few years, so really looking forward to that one. Please do drop a like before you go. We are only 19 away from 200, so if we could do that, that would be amazing. So please do drop a like before you go, and subscribe if you're new. As I've just said there, lots to come between now and the summer break, and indeed now and the end of the season, and hopefully over many years to come as well, because I'm having way too much fun doing all of this, although a lot of that may be because I've just watched Hulkenberg get a podium. So there we go. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.